Hello, what's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday to you all. Good to see ya. What is up, Stiefung, Dank Room, Affinity to Squirtle, Duca Buddy, Land OATL. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully, everyone is having an amazing day and enjoying this ridiculously sweet set. Oh man, Dustmorn, it's so good. It's really grown on me. I do like horror, so I was already kind of hyped for this set, but seeing the cards, this set looks so sweet and so fun to play with. The spoilers today, hey, what's up, Megavox? How are you? The spoilers we just got during the WotC stream, some of them are almost surprised, Pyroclasm back in Standard. This was one of the cards that I thought they would never print back into Standard, probably ever in existence, but it makes so much sense with the Convoke decks and the aggro decks being so good. Having access to something like Pyroclasm to deal with them seems like such a good choice. So I'm actually really hyped to see these old cards coming back to Standard for the first time in forever. We got the Blue Overlord, which the Blue Overlord's fine. It's just kind of card drawy value-y stuff. It's a good card, definitely a solid card, but nothing super ridiculous. We got our first against the odds card, I think, in Central Elevator Promising Stairs. One thing I did not expect about these room enchantments. Hey, what's up, Dogamith? How are you? I did not expect the room enchantments to actually have a theme to them, to be a deck, but it seems like Wizards wants you to play a bunch of rooms together and build a house, kind of, because we have Promising Stairs, which at the beginning of your upkeep, you surveil one, and if you have at least 8 different unlocked rubes, you win the game. It's an alt-win condition for rubes that looks super cool. This set's so good, and the set looks really powerful, too. New Nico looks really strong, the Swarm Weaver looks really strong, just all around this set is, it's so good. What do we think about rooms to be blinkable? So rooms are not blinkable, right? They confirm that, I believe, that unless something has changed since they first announced it, but I believe that if you blink a room, they come back in and all the rooms are locked, so you're gonna have to pay to unlock them again. Good afternoon, Seth. I have a rules question about room enchantments and effects that animate enchantments onto creatures with base power and toughness. The question is, what would the room enchantments base power and toughness be? Look at effects that animate enchantments onto creatures with base power and toughness. Can you give me an example? I'm sort of confused. So I have a rules question and how it works with animate enchantments. Wait, wouldn't the base power and toughness just be whatever the card set? What is the card you're reanimating them with? Oh, if that's the question, yeah. So if it's a mana value thing, the mana value of a room enchantment is the combined mana value. So if it was power and toughness equal to its mana value, Central Elevator Promising Stairs would be 7 or whatever. So I believe that's how it should work. So yeah, so if you have something that cares about mana value, it would be that. On the battlefield, I think it's just the unlock sides that counts, because the other side doesn't exist until you unlock it. So on the stack, combined mana value. In your hand, combined mana value. On the battlefield, whatever's unlocked mana value, I believe. But yeah, this set looks so good. We got new ley lines. Oh, did you see? We got Meathook Massacre 2, which, like most sequels, might not be quite as strong as the original, but still seems like a pretty fun card. 4 black and double X. When it enters, each player sacks X creatures. It's just so much mana. Each player sacks X creatures. And whenever a creature you control dies, you can pay 3 life. Return it to the battlefield under your control with a finality counter. When your opponent's creature dies, they may pay 3 life. If they don't, you return their creature with a finality counter. The problem is just so much mana. Is the Goldfish podcast still coming out this week? Yes, it's coming out today instead of tomorrow. The holiday schedule messed things up, but it's coming out today. It's just so much mana to get going. But in Mono Black Devotion, maybe in Commander, or I would try this in our Pioneer Mono Black Devotion deck just for fun. It's nowhere near as strong as original Meathook Massacre, but it seems way more fun than the original Meathook Massacre. For Meathook 2, remember your Steel, Smack, and Sack deck, amazing in there. Oh, that does seem like a good fit. If we can, it's just so much to cast. If we can get it on the battlefield, it would be good there. can play it for 4B and then next turn cast a board wipe. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what you do, is you just run it out for 4 mana as an enchantment and forget about trying to like make people sacrifice and then make your opponent sacrifice in other ways. That might be the best way to build around it. New ley lines look sweet. Leyline of Resonance. I'm excited for the red ley line because red ley lines traditionally are the worst ley lines. If you look at the history of red ley lines, they're just not very good. But Leyline of Resonance actually seems pretty sweet. So whenever you cast an instant or sorcery that targets a single creature that you control, copy that spell, you choose new targets for it. At least it's fun. It's doing something like different than we've seen in other ley lines, which is usually like, oh, prevent damage or whatever. Just like silly stuff that isn't super relevant. But this one at least looks super fun to play with. From the mechanics article regarding rooms, while in the battlefield, the room card has all the characteristics of its unlocked doors. So for example, Porcelain Gallery is unlocked. Its permanent mana value is 6. If both doors are unlocked, its mana value is 8. Similarly, if both doors are locked, the permanent has 2 names in your library. Similarly, if both doors are unlocked, the permanent has 2 names in your library, graveyard, hand, room, combined mana values. Does that mean, so, you know what's hilarious about that? That means in theory, you could like reanimate a very expensive room enchantment and it would have no unlocked rooms, so its mana value would be 0, and you could like ratchet bomb it or something. Yeah, Miak Massacre 2 looks really fun. I feel like this card is sneaky good. Alan Tenka, the thrice called, 7 mana 9/9 Trampler. When it becomes a target of a spell or ability, opponent discards a card, whatever. The exciting part is pay to discard it, return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So with fetch lands or like a self-mill effects, it's a way for you to ramp for just 2 mana. And then it's got Say Its Name, which if you cast 3 of them and get them in your graveyard, you can cast 1 and exile it and then just tutor it up and put it directly on the battlefield. The set's like, oh, it's so just... all around, this set looks so incredibly fun. And I gotta say, the art is just, it's so good. The art, like, it's so creepy, but the art just keeps getting better. Like, almost every single piece of art that they have for this set, I just absolutely love. It's just so creepy and surreal, and oh, they nailed it. They nailed it with the flavor and with the power level. What do you think about, I will do a little complaining, just a little complaining. Grievous Wound, it's a cool card, right? 5 mana, enchanted player. That player can't gain life, and when they are dealt damage, they lose half their life rounded up, which is like brutal. The thing is, shouldn't it be a curse? I don't know why they don't just make these curses. Like when you're enchanting a specific player, I kind of wish they were just always curses or almost always curses, so then it would power up the curse deck slowly over time. The new land. What do you think of the new land cycle? The new land cycle. So the Verge cycle comes into play untapped, it makes a color, and then if you control one of 2 land types, so like Hushwood Verge, comes into play untapped, makes green, it'll make white if you control a forest or a plains, or Gloomlake Verge, makes blue, it makes black if you have an island or a swamp. I feel like this is a very solid land cycle. It reminds me a little bit of like, oh no, what was the super old land cycle? The problem with those is, it made, I believe, the Tainted cycle, Tainted Woodlands, I believe that was, let me see if I can look this up. I think it was Tainted. It kind of reminds me of, wait, Tainted Wood? It can't be Tainted Wood. Oh, it is Tainted Wood. It kind of reminds me of this cycle, right? Where, but a very upgraded 2024 edition. The downside of the old version, it only made colorless mana, but then if you had a swamp, it made 2 colors of mana. This seems just like a very upgraded version. I think these have potential to see play. Definitely in standard, they're going to be really good. I think they could show up in some modern decks too, in some Pioneer decks. I think they're that good because they interact really well with fetch lands. If you fetch out a Triome or you fetch out a Shock land, that's going to turn on all these lands, and then they're just always untapped, always making 2 colors of mana. So I don't think they're like modern staples or anything, but I think they're kind of close enough that they could possibly see some modern play. We also got all of the special guests from the set, and the special guests are fine. I don't know about expropriate. I kind of hate expropriate. Some interesting new arena stuff. First time Maddening Hex on Arena, which sees legacy play. First time Sacrifice has been reprinted like forever. Also, the creepiest Phantasmal Image art. The Phantasmal Image image art. Oh, it's so good with the creepy clowns. Especially with Surveil lands having basic land types, it synergizes really well. Yeah, it does. So I'm just, oh, this set's it's so sweet. This set's so incredibly, it's better than I expected. I was expecting a lot, and so far, Dustmorn has exceeded expectations. Anyway, let's do our reminders, and we talk about Dustmorn and anything else as we go along. Here's the goal for today, magic-wise, and I can use your help with this. So here's what I'm trying to do, chat. Seems way more fun than Bloomburrow. I would actually agree with that. I feel like Bloomburrow, I don't want to say Bloomburrow flopped, because I don't think Bloomburrow flopped, but I feel like the immediate impact, like Bloomburrow was very cute, but I feel like the immediate impact of Bloomburrow has been less than I would have liked. Yes, I know we have like the talent enchantments have been really good, but if you look at the metagame of Standard, what we're not seeing is frogs versus rabbits versus, choose a creature type from Bloomburrow. We didn't end up there. Like, we don't really see that being a thing outside of lizards. Lizards actually made it. That's the one Bloomburrow tribe that actually is made for a real deck. Have I was hoping for more of that. Like, I think if you're going to do a theme based on building these creature decks and like everything synergizing together, I think you want to have more of them see play. So I feel like in like gameplay wise, I think Bloomburrow might have been a little bit underpowered overall, like kind of sadly. I think the art and stuff is just so cute. It's very precious. It's just a super cute set. So I still like Bloomburrow, but I think that Duskmorn is looking more powerful to me than Bloomburrow. That's for sure. Yeah, we have to revisit some Soul Sisters. This is the one time I can confidently 100% say, and there's no doubt about it, that we actually got a card that was good in Soul Sisters. We have the Soul Sister itself in Soul Warden, although it's already on Arena, so it doesn't actually change anything. Sacrifice is kind of a ridiculous card. I feel like this card, we've never really got to brew with it because it's only existed in Legacy, but 1 mana sack a creature, make black mana equal to its mana value. That has to be an abusable effect. There has to be a way that we can use this to do something absolutely ridiculous and timeless. I don't know exactly what yet because I just spoiled it, but there's got to be a way that we can do something insane with Sacrifice. Ooh, Evoke Grief and Sagat. That's actually kind of, yeah. Evoke Grief, turn 1, sack it, 4 mana. Special guests don't go into Standard. They don't change legality outside of Arena. If they all come to Arena, so like Expropriate, I believe, first time on Arena, Sacrifice first time on Arena, so historic or timeless, but otherwise, no, they don't actually come to Standard. The rest of the cards do come to Standard, and I think this set's going to shake it up. I feel like this set's going to have way more of an impact immediately than we saw with a Bloomburrow. But anyway, let's do our reminders. Reminders. Replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one of the future. Normal YouTube. Yesterday, we did some modern budget magic, doing some Necrotic Ooze comboing. That deck was, oh man, I love Necrotic Ooze. Necrotic Ooze is just such a fun card. That deck was pretty sweet. I think it's kind of medium in terms of how competitive it is in 2024 Modern, but when it works, it's so good. My most anticipated card is the Room Fractured Realm. It is, I don't remember all the names yet. I'm pretty sure that's the Super Panharmonicon, right? Yeah, I mean, this is one of my favorite cards from the set too. Surprise, surprise. I like Panharmonicon, but this is the best version of the Panharmonicon effect that they've ever printed. It just doubles every trigger of every permanent. It's not attacking or enter the battlefield or anything like that. This just doubles them all the time. It is about a million mana. It is 7 mana is a lot, but it's so powerful, and you get to do something with Mirror Room before that if you want to. So it does something earlier in the game. So yeah, I think this card is going to be really popular in Commander, and we're definitely going to build around it in Standard because it does ridiculous things. The artwork all around is just so good in this set. Stone Rain, happy birthday. Hopefully you had a good birthday. What'd you do for your birthday, Stone Rain? What is the scariest art in the set for you so far? Honestly, I don't know. My tolerance for being actually like scared of a piece of art is very high. So None of it's really. If anything, I kind of like the creepiness of it. As weird as that might sound, I think the Jolly Balloon Man, is maybe it might be my favorite, and like I think Velgavoth is like very unsettling. It's got this like creepy Mothman flavor to it, so I think that's one of them. But I think it's the Jolly Balloon Man. Not only is it maybe the creepiest piece of art, I think it's my favorite piece of art from the set. Just like, oh, the blowing up the balloon heads, and you got Danny DeVito in there, and like the spiky things on the face. It's like, what's this guy? I want to know the story of Jolly Balloon Man. Like, I would, if they want to make sequels, if their goal is to make sequels, I don't want to see Meat Hook Massacre 2. I want to see a spin-off that is just the Jolly Balloon Man set, just like hanging out in his house with the balloons. Like, I think that could work for a small set. We could do that, or at least a secret lair drop, right? I want the story of the Jolly Balloon Man, because I want to know, like, he's got to be doing something creepy. Why are those so many faces? And also, if you read the card, the fact that the tokens go away at the end of turn, I think it's the balloons popping, right? That's what it's supposed to be. So does he just blow up these faces and then they pop and then he blows up? Like, I want to know what's up with Jolly Balloon Man. Hey, what's up, Betasaurus Rex? How are you? I saw a friend went to my favorite Mexican restaurant, got a bottle of the hottest hot sauce in the world, made from Pepper X, and it's great. Oh, well, I'm glad you had a good birthday, Stone Raid. How was the Mexican? Good Mexican. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. If you get a free goldfish sticker, just let them know you want one in your order notes, and they will hook you up. So thank you to Card Kingdom for supporting the show. I have a card to offer on a Shark Tank. In Debt of Loyalty. I know. In Debt of Loyalty, I know this card. I have thought this card is a sleeper too. I don't think I've ever done it on Shark Tank. It's a white way to steal creatures, right? Debt of Loyalty. I believe it's a 4-mana sorcery. 3 mana, instant. I was way off. 3 mana, regenerate target creature, gain control of that creature. I think I was thinking of Jabari's Influence, which I think is similar. Play only after combat, 5 mana, gain control of target non-artifact, non-black creature that attacked you this turn, and put a -1, -0 counter on it. There's actually 2 different white ways of stealing creatures. I don't know why no one plays those cards. I think they're relatively powerful, and no one is going to expect to get got by Debt of Loyalty or Jabari's Influence. No one. Yeah, those are really good choices. Mont Elbid, best Mexican restaurant in the world. Well, if I'm ever out in that area, I'm gonna have to check it out. So what is our goal today with this deck? So here's my goal, chat, and maybe you can help me with this because I haven't figured it out yet. So here's what I want to do. If you have ideas, let me know so we can do a little brewing here. So the goal is to use Iridescent Vinelasher, the 1-mana 1/2 that landfall, you deal damage to your opponent, and it has Offspring with Panharmonicon effect. In this case, Virtue of Knowledge. So the synergy here is Virtue of Knowledge doubles any trigger from a permanent entering the battlefield. So what this means is, if we have a Virtue of Knowledge, plus we can cast the Vantress Visions just to copy an ability. So what this means is, if we get on a Virtue of Knowledge, we get to Offspring our Iridescent Vinelasher, and we get 2 Offspring tokens. So we get 3 instead of just 2. And then every land is going to double trigger every Iridescent Vinelasher. So each one is going to deal 2 damage. So that's 1 land 6 damage, fetch land 12 damage. Maybe we throw in a Clifftop Lookout or a Splunking to play an extra land, and then we just kill our opponent on the spot. So that's essentially the goal of the deck. The thing is, I don't know the best way to build this deck. I've been going back and forth. Like, should this be a Fecund Green Shell deck where we're trying to play all high toughness creatures? Should we be playing Dewdrop Entrancer instead of Blossoming Tortoise? I've just been changing things around, trying to figure out, like, do we want Lumbra? Do we not want Lumbra? So I've been trying to figure out the way to do it. I've seen Vinelasher with Roaming Throne instead. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, Roaming Throne would work, but do we really want Roaming Throne on Lizard or Assassin? Maybe. I feel like Vantress Vision. I mean, I guess the upside of Roaming Throne is we could be straight Golgari. We wouldn't have to splash into blue. That's really literally the only reason that we're going into blue. The other thing is like, so Virtue also works with the rest of our deck. Fecund Green Shell double triggers, Blossoming Tortoise double triggers, Clipped Out Lookout, Lumra, Deep Cavern Bat. So it works with more things. Let's try a game. And we'll go from there. So I know you can do Pitiless Carnage, sack all your land shenanigans. I wanted to try to not be the like Aftermath Analyst combo deck, just because that's already like an existing deck. Why not just play Elish Norn? The Dustmourn, really? The green screen? I don't know why does this always happen? This doesn't even, I don't know why the cameras won't stop moving. It really is. It's really got to be Ghost. There's no other options. We could throw in some Doppelgangs. Doppelgang is very powerful. That would actually be kind of funny. Maybe Doppelgang makes any deck better. Seth, you interested in buying a personal paper collection? I'm in a hard place thinking of selling my collection. It's $10K. Whew. Maybe. I would say send me an email. SaffronOlive@mtdgoldfish.com and we, oh no, discard. SaffronOlive@mtdgoldfish.com and we can talk about it, see what we can figure out. Huh. What are we discarding? I guess it's probably just Virtue, as much as that hurts. The discard. Ooh, Urborg Repossession's actually pretty good against the discard deck. Pass the turn. Also, Doppelgang to copy Vinelashers and lands can go for the kill pretty much. That is true. Well, let's discard the green shell. Opponent. One Glarb in case of... So I've had Case of the Locked Hot House in and out of the deck. I think it's close to being worth it. Glarb, I wonder if Glarb is worth it. Tithing Blade, 2 Beseech the Mirrors, Bandit's Talent. Oh, I see, this is the Viper deck. Well, alright, let's take the Tithing Blade. I mean, we can draw 2 with this Urborg Repossession, which seems decent. So we discard the Virtue. Opponent passes. Play Llanowar Waste. Hit you with the Bat. Urborg Repossession. Kick it. Get back the green shell. Get back the Virtue. Can we please teach Arena Zoomers about Commandeer Strip Mine? I've wanted to Commandeer Strip Mine Arena Zoomers. The problem is there's no Strip Mine. Oh, Wake in the Woods is spicy. That's actually pretty spicy. I like that idea. By the way, with this new set, won't the price of enchantment, artifact destruction go up in price? So, I mean, in theory, yes. In practice, I'm not so sure. Let's play Blossoming Tortoise. Get our Fabled Passage. Hit you with a Bat. So, new cards coming out definitely can increase prices. The thing about artifact and enchantment destruction, a lot of it that sees play is just random, like, commons and uncommons, that it's hard for the price to go up too much. Just because there's so many copies out there of the lower rarity cards. Disfriender, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super thank you. I will say, big scorecards in general, I think, are kind of sleepers still. Like, it's crazy that Tranquil Frillback isn't more expensive than it is. I guess it's already $7. But I feel like Aftermath cards, because of how they released, I feel like it makes it... I think it makes it easier for them to spike, just because it was so unpopular. Like, how many of these possibly were opened? Because people just hated them so much. Hostile Investigator A. Well, I guess we discard the Tortoise. Opponent. I mean, we get to play a green shell or a Virtue. It's probably better to play a green shell, I guess. Discard. Do you think they'll have the Alien Chestburster in Dustmorn or Alien Chestburster? Wait, what's the Alien Chestburster? Found it. Sacks and draws. Well, we will crack a Fable Passage. Grab a Swamp. Play a Green Shell. Draw, go for the throw. Hit ya. Mill some cards. All right, opponent. Let's see what you got. Opponent thinking of blocking. I mean, for getting hit by so many discard spells, we're kind of doing all right. Do we play? Yeah, we'll play the Restless Reef. Oh, wait. I was thinking you're just talking about the scene from Alien where the alien bursts out of the chest. Oh, see, it was capitalized. I thought it was a specific thing. like a proper character, but maybe I'm just misunderstanding. I know the movie scene that you're talking about. I am very sheltered when it comes to culture outside of animated TV shows. I mean, I think the aliens almost certainly exist. Aliens have to exist, right? I don't think there's any. It's hard for me to imagine aliens not existing. The universe is big. The universe is really big. I mean, hopefully the aliens don't come bursting out of my chest. I would prefer that not to happen, but I think it's likely the aliens are real. Well, get in, hit ya. Down to 12. Play the mortuary. Do a little scrying. Do not need Botanical Sanctum. Well, Virtue and Knowledge. Pass the turn. Yeah, I mean, that's the easiest argument for it. The universe is so incredibly big that the odds that we're the only living things and whatever in the entirety of everything, that seems like the odds of that have to be so incredibly small. Plus, I mean, you got all those people that were abducted and probed. They can't all just be greasy drunks, can they? I mean, they could be, but well, let's get in. Mill ya. It was Oraline. Okay, maybe we shouldn't have milled ya. Well, opponent, you have to do some blocking. Throws a green shell. In front of the braids, drops to 7. Well, play the hedge maze. Double surveil. We need some action. Oh, is Tortoise good enough? What do we want here? So Tortoise double ramps us. It doesn't draw with green shell. It's unfortunate that the turtles don't synergize together better. It does pump our Restless Reef. We have one more surveil. Do we just dump the turtle? Let's dump the turtle. Okay, green shell that one we definitely want. That's a good one. Ooh, hold. It needs to have higher toughness, though. Turtles have big butts. They need to have more toughness. Bone it. Wow! Finds the janky removal spell that gets rid of the fecund green shell and probably kills us with Bandit's Talents now. Unfortunate. Well, fecund green shell double triggers. Decline. And to go for the throw. All right. Oh, man. I think we're dead, though. We were so close about it. Because they can get discard with this Beseech the Mirror and make us discard, and then they win with triple band. They did draw 3 Bandits Talent, I will say. Play more flump. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. What movie references? Well, let's see if they play this right. What movie references have you noticed so far in Dustmorn? I feel like a lot of it's not very specific. Like, a lot of it's kind of just general, like, horror stuff. But there hasn't been a ton of stuff that I would point to, like, a specific movie or IP on, I don't think. But I might be missing some of it. Opponent. Oh, you're right. They draw 4 bandits talents. Yeah, that's what you want if you're the discard deck. Yeah, it's got the feel. They did do a really good job of just making it feel horror movie-ish. Yeah, the chainsaw makes me... Huh. Really? Wait. Huh? Did our opponent just punt this game? I think our opponent just punted this game. Why? All they had to do to guarantee a win... All they had to do to guarantee a win was just make us discard a card. How did they end up with Zorl? You could get any card in your deck mana value 4 or less. I mean, I guess they used all their bandits talents. And maybe they only had one hot... Did they not have any discard left? Maybe they didn't have any discard left because they drew... Maybe drawing every bandit's talent actually killed them instead of killing us. But wow, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you. They should have had something, right? Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Well, we didn't do the thing, but we beat the discard deck, which is good because that deck's very brutal. Yeah, I mean, or it was just, maybe they just didn't see it. Maybe they didn't see the line. I mean, I guess score 1 for the Never Scoop camp. Because those are the ones where you look at it and I just like, I'm 100% dead. It's so obvious. It's so obvious how they kill us here. And our opponent just found another way to to play it somehow. Maybe we go like this. Let's try it like that. Stuck in my head that came back wrong was a Buffy the Vampire Slayer reference. I remember Buffy. We have a new donation from Chuck DGaff. Hey Seth, I love watching your content. Any chance you'd have a link to your mono red prison? I'm thinking about building a version myself. Ooh. Yeah, let me see what I can find. So it's been I will warn you that it's not very updated. My love of mono red prison has diminished a little bit since they banned Simian Spirit Guide. It's still, I love the deck. Yeah, this one's, wow, this is like super old. This is actually before, we're going to discard the Go for the Throat, I think. This is actually before they banned Simian Spirit Guide. So, it'll give you some ideas of the direction to go at least, but you can't actually just play this, this entire deck. Bandits Talent A. Alright, opponent. Just keep discarding. Well, crack the Fable Passage. Grab a Forest. Hey, Seth, is it correct to never scoop because of the clock on Arena and Moto? Sort of. So, if your only goal is winning 100, like, as much as possible, then yes, never scooping would be correct. The thing is, most people's only goal is not just winning as much as possible. There's other things going on as well. Like, for example, your sanity. You want to have fun. And there's sometimes when the small chance of you somehow winning because you did not scoop is not worth it, because you would just rather move on to the next thing, do the next thing, play the next game. So yeah, I think from a pure win and loss perspective, you will win slightly more if you just never scoop, because some small percentage of your opponents will maybe time out, maybe their internet will crash, maybe Arena will crash on them, or like, you know, make some punt 5 minutes in the future when you would have already scooped. So I think from win and loss perspective, I just scoop pretty aggressively usually because... I think we just sack the Splunking. Kind of regretting. Well, actually, this Vantress Visions is fine. What we can do is... Man, these Bandits' talents. So we can triple Vinelash. We can double Frog. We can single Vinelash and get some damage. How do we actually do this? All right, let's play Fabled Passage. Let's crack Fabled Passage. Grab a swamp. Yeah, let's just do it. We'll set up for the future. So, Offspring the Vinelash. Virtue and Knowledge. Make another baby. Gonna be twin Vinelashers here. How was everyone's weekend? I know it's the holiday weekend. Anyone do anything spectacular? Hopeless, our Frog. Hopeless Nightmare kills our Frog. Ice Bandit's talents are gonna kill us. About it. Passes and sacks and draws. I feel like this black-white deck is like super decent when it draws its Bandit's talents all the time, which our opponent is doing a good job of. Yeah, I don't know how we get out of this. Well, play the Virtue, pass the turn, and the Braids. So I'll blink twice with my girlfriend. Ooh, was it good? Chilled at home with the cats. Yeah, that's a good way to spend a long weekend. Hey, Seth, do you think Green Sun's Twilight could make it in the deck? Our opponent definitely had more discard. They definitely had more discard because they just found a Tiny Bones joins up. So I think they must have just punted. Opponent's gonna sack. Yeah, I think we're just getting ground out by these. How do they always draw? So game one, they drew four Bandits talents. This game, they drew 2 Bandits talents. How does our opponent always do that? And what other ways do we have of dealing with them? Not hardly any. Huh. Like, Tidebinder doesn't really do it because it's a one-shot. 3 steps ahead feels slow. I almost never play against discard. I'm kind of surprised we're up against a discard deck. I guess we can bring in the Virtues. Yeah, let's just try it like that. So Green Sun's Twilight. It's interesting. Reveal the top X cards of your library. Choose a creature and or keywords, land from among them. Put them in your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If X is 5 or greater, you get to put the cards onto the battlefield if you choose. Yeah, I mean, I've never really tried it. Maybe we'll have to put it in the deck just to see how it feels. I could see how it could work. Well, this one lander is not going to get it done for us. All right, well. Oh, I think maybe our opponent just mulligans until they find multiple Bandits talents. It's like they're playing treasure hunt over their opponent down to 5. Gotta find that Bandit's talent. Gotta find that Bandit's talent. Did we find the Bandit's talent? How about 4? Let's go to 4, Admiral Bracket Brass. Let's go to 4. Not running in Balos because I don't expect to play against discard. Discard's much more of a thing, I think, in best of 1 than in best of 3. Well, let's crack the Fabled Passage. Grab a Schwamp. Hey, Seth. When did the joke become a dad joke? When it became apparent. Wow. And that is a dad joke. There's so many levels. Man, who'll own it? Finds a Liliana.
This fight finished before brunch. You won't be outsmarting me.
Man. Well, that's not good. That's not good. Play the land. Tranquil Frillback. Might as well pay. Gain 4. Yeah, Liliana's very awkward for us here. Opponent, gonna take down.
I've always hated crowds.
And finds a bandit's talent. Sure. And levels up the bandit's talent. And plays a land. Ooh. This is actually, yeah, why are there no mom jokes? The new meat hook is, I mean, I think the new meat hook being bad is correct. I mentioned this before, but I don't know how many of you have seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. For my money, it is on the short list of worst movies ever made in the history of humanity. Does not get much worse than that. So I think it's intentional. I will say Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh, do we want the land or the virtue? Yeah, we'll take the land. We're probably discarding it anyway. All right, get back a couple cards. Pass the turn. So I think they intentionally made it bad as a play off of how bad sequels are. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, as horrible as it was, I guess it was kind of fun. And I think this is kind of fun. So I think this design is actually next level, very good magic design by Wizards. Because that's the whole theme of the card, is to be a movie sequel. Opponent, land. Zoraline. Gonna pay to get back Lauren of the Third Path. Well, that's Tranquil Frillback. And auto pay. And auto pay. Blow it up, exile your graveyard. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Yeah, this set looks so good. Really? Seriously? That is probably a game-winning top deck for our opponent there. Because now their Liliana can kill the green shell. We needed a buffer and to be able to attack the Liliana, but now we're just Liliana locked. Well, play a land, pass the turn. Die to Liliana. Hey Seth, unrelated question. Is there any good way to discover up-to-date budget decks for Modern? I'd love to hit up some Modern at my LGS and just play some slightly optimized decks that won't cost me more than $200 or $300, while maybe winning a few games with some lucky draws. Whew, maybe I'll have to try to go through and update some of the old budget Modern decks. So if you go to the Modern metagame page over on the site, oh, we could have really used a creature land there. All right, well, pass the turn. The thing is, even if the Liliana dies, they just get to get it back with Zoraline anyway. Opponent, we draw a useless land. Opponent passes. Opponent takes down the Liliana.
When I'm not. Haven't you
Goes attack. It gets back to Liliana. Man. So if you go to the metagame page, you can find all the budget decks down there. Some of them could definitely use updating. But there are lots of options. So I would check those out. It's just gotten harder and harder to make decent Modern budget decks, unfortunately, as the power level of Modern has snowballed. It's become increasingly difficult to make competitive Modern decks, but there's still some fun ones on there. I'll play a Virtue. Play a Cliff Top Lookout. Zoraline's a good card. Is Zoraline the... Man, it's probably in the top 5 cards from Bloomborough, isn't it? Can we get a creature land, please? No. No, no, no. The podcast is coming out today. The podcast is coming out today. So don't worry. The podcast, it's coming. It's coming. It was just a day late because of holiday stuff. Do you think your Mono Blue Melcher deck might be competitive in Modern? I was thinking about getting the cards to finish it. So I think Mono Blue Melcher is relatively competitive. The thing is, I think it's also a deck that can be hated on. So I think it's like... I think it's a deck that's very... It has the power to win an FNM, 5-0 League or whatever. But I think the more it becomes a known thing and the more people play it, I think the less good it will be. Because I think it's kind of just doing one thing. And I think once people know what it's doing, it'll probably become a little tougher to win with. So, yes, I think it's competitive. But I don't know what its long-term future looks like. Any Pioneer decks in the works for upcoming videos? Curious to see... Oh, we don't even have any basics left. Lovely. And there's Vinelasher. Wow, that was brutal. That was brutal. I mean, the MDFC lands, the new MDFC lands from Modern Horizons have really changed the equation. Because you can actually build a monocolor mana base with all MDFCs, which makes it really easy to do like Balchery shenanigans or whatever. So I can say Brawl, there is a Brawl video coming. That one's already done. There will be Pioneer coming. So as soon as the bannings happened, I immediately started working on some Modern stuff to try to get some Modern videos out. So those came first, but there will be Pioneer coming as well. Hey Seth, have you ever had a washing machine that's not fully automatic? Manual wash cycle. Swap it to a spinner to spin it. Swap it back to rinse. I'm putting myself in a pretzel with how much work it is and how small my apartment is trying to make it work. It's honestly less tiring to walk a nearly mile round trip to a laundromat. I have not ever even seen a manual washing machine. I didn't know that was a thing. Wait, is this like some 1800s technology? Is this just like super old school? What is it sounds like a lot of effort. I mean, you get a workout, I guess that's a bonus. A manual, I mean, I guess I've done that before. I'm not above like washing a shirt in the sink if I have to. I mean, I guess the idea of a manual washing machine is kind of cool. Well, let's just play a frog. Life is good when your hand is not being brutally discarded. Is Temu a scam? Like, how many of you have bought stuff from Temu? Because I always see these Temu prices are like absurd. I remember it's similar to Wish, right? I remember Wish. Is it actually worth buying stuff off of Temu, or is it usually pretty janky once you actually get it? 60% scam. Okay, so you're saying there's a chance then. You're saying there's a chance. How do we want to do this? I think Deep Cavern Bat, this is risky. Deep Cavern Bat, Virtue it. Double up that bat trigger. We will take your, oh, come on now. Triple removal spells, okay. Well, we'll take the two best ones. Play the Restless Cottage. Pass the turn. Oh, how do we beat in Erebras Forge? Some devices are good, but ironically more expensive than they are through retails directly. That kind of, I always thought the upside is they were super cheap. That kind of defeats the purpose. Pound it. Gets in with both. Sure. Get in there. Down to 13. And opponent. Gonna pass. Well, there's a Blossoming Tortoise. Let's go to combat. Get in with the bat. opponent. All right, takes it to 19. Well, let's do the same thing. Let's Clift. How good is Virtue? How good is Virtue of Knowledge? Maybe, am I deceiving myself into thinking that Virtue of Knowledge is actually, is it not even worth it? Should we be Abzan and play Elishnorn? Should we not have a Panharmonicon at all? Do we need more frogs? Maybe we don't have enough frogs. Maybe that's the issue. Well, I don't know how it could be win more because we haven't even won yet. That's kind of the issue. It's the opposite of win more because we just keep losing, won't it? I mean, we only actually played one match, but what do you think of Meat Hook Massacre 2? It seems super fun, but it's so much mana that it seems unlikely to me that it's going to be especially competitive because I think it just costs too much. Opponent. Sunfalls. Hooray. Well, let's play a Blossoming Tortoise. I don't know if I like Blossoming Tortoise. We might try changing this up. We're gonna do a rebuild. I don't know if the Blossoming Tortoise is worth it. I'm starting to think Blossoming Tortoise is not it. It might not be it. Hey Seth, what do you think about using New Tyvar as a way to get mass tokens out of Deeproot Pilgrimage, especially with Three Tree City and Patchwork Banner? Tad Cavern, do you think Merfolk Tribal could be a thing in Standard? Wait, Tyvar. Oh, I see. So using Tyvar is a way to just repeatedly tap your creatures to make tokens. So the thing is, I mean, that could work, right? Although we already have vehicles. We already have saddle. So we already have a lot of mechanics that let us just tap our creatures, essentially. So it makes me wonder if Tyver really changes anything. Like, if just tapping Merfolk to make tokens with Deeproot Wavebinder was going to be a successful thing, I imagine we could already be doing it with vehicles and stuff. I guess it's nice. So it's weird that Tyvar is not a Merfolk, so it's an awkward inclusion in a Merfolk deck. Although it is nice that it does have the overrun ability. Well, not even overrun because it doesn't give trample, but it does have a way to pump the creature. So maybe that's part of the selling point. Are we just dead here? Virgil, they have, yeah, okay, we're just dead here. Let's go on to the next one. If flickering room's pretty bad. If you flicker a room, you essentially just get nothing. If you flicker a room, you get both rooms will enter locked. So if you flicker a room, you're gonna have to spend a bunch of mana to get your rooms locked again. Impending works really well with blink effects. You can impend one of the mythics and then like blink them to get the creature side. That works really well. Not nearly as good though with a boy, this Urbra's Forge is a fast clock and we only have 2 things that kill artifacts. We get a couple. Maybe we need the Tidebinders. They're just gonna die though. All right, let's run it like that. I mean, I'm not sure how many cards. I don't know if there's any cards that exist in Standard that let you blink one of your opponent's enchantments. But yes, oh, man, we got 26 lands in this deck too. Goodness. All right. Well, better than 1 land, that's for sure. But yeah, so I don't know if there's any cards that actually in practice let you blink your opponent's rooms, but that would work. That would turn them off. Seth, how do you feel about spicy food? You seem like you're on one end of the spectrum. We either love it or hate them in between. I am kind of a picky eater, I guess. Spicy foods, I guess I would say no. I'm trying to think of a spicy food that I like, and I'm not coming up with any. Like, I guess it depends on what you consider spicy. Are Doritos spicy? They're kind of spicy. I can deal with a Dorito. A Dorito's fine. Do those count? Hot wings. So hot wings. So I've never tried like insanely hot wings. Like I've never had some like special wings. But if you order hot wings from the pizzeria, I can eat them. They're okay. If I'm ordering a pizza and wings, do I order hot wings? Probably not. I usually order the garlic parmesan wings. Doritos don't count. All right. Well, maybe I don't like spicy food then. Vindola beef. I think. Oh, what was the beef? I mentioned it. My brother and his girlfriend were around, and they made his girlfriend's Mexican and made this Mexican food that was, it was so good. It was some sort of beef that I never had before, but it was so delicious. So I don't know, it kind of won me over. There was even, you'd be proud of me, chat. So how do you feel about beans? See, beans, I think are kind of sacrilegious. Oh my God, they're the worst. But I even had some beans on it, and I managed to eat most of them. Opponent decides not to attack. They got their combo though. Herb has Forged Caretaker's talent for all the card draw. We could use some card draw. Oh, I love pepper. Pepper. I'll eat pepper on things. So I like pepper. So just having pepper on food, I don't think that wouldn't be spicy to me. Are we just doing nothing? I guess we can just attack? Is that our best bet? I mean, we can play this for the future. We can attack and mill. The problem is our opponent's going to be drawing extra cards every turn. All right, let's play the virtue. Play the virtue. Pass the turn. Beans are like really gross. I think you're a pickier eater than my 6-year-old. Does your 6-year-old? Oh no, another one. Does your 6-year-old put milk on their cereal? That's really the question. Because if the answer is no, they don't. I might be a more picky eater than your 6-year-old. That seems possible. I have this thing about foods being mixed together. I don't really like foods mixed together. Other than ketchup. Ketchup, you can put ketchup on just about anything and it's delicious. My whole wife's family is really picky with food, and we're Mexicans, so don't feel bad. Yeah, I'm excited. So my brother, he just got engaged. So I'm sure I will get to try some more delicious Mexican food from his future wife. Cease desist in the sideboard. We're gonna rebuild after this game. We'll look at it. What do I put on cereal? You don't put anything on cereal. I've never understood the concept of putting liquid on cereal. Putting liquid on cereal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Putting liquid on cereal just makes the cereal soggy. There's no upside there. There's no upside. I guess we can just play the land. We'll play the land. There's no upside to milking up your cereal. It just makes it worse. Wall of Chaos. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super fan. Thank you. Milk on cereal. Oh, I'm not going to win this one. There's no way I'm winning this one. There are dozens. There are dozens of us. There are dozens of us out there that refuse to milk up our cereal. I will tell you. This is the one topic where I most feel like that Arrested Development meme. This is the one topic where I'm like, there's dozens of us. Because I have met other people. That won't put milk on their cereal. If you leave it for an hour, you eat it immediately. Almond milk, 30 CA. Ugh. Even that, it's just like, it's soggy. It's soggy and weird. I mean, I will say you can't put other liquids on it. That's definitely crazy. Well, all right. I guess we're drawing 2, discarding 2. Copying a frog. Opponent's probably going to kill the frog. Does not kill the frog. Well, discard the vine stock. Wait, the art changed. All right. Clifftop Lookout ×2. Thin the deck. We need something that generates value. We have all these Panharmonicons and nothing to do with them. Grab a forest. All right, come on, deck. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Find us a surveil land as land number 2. All right. Well, the tokens go away. I think we need more card draw. I think that's the failing of this deck is there's too much. There's not enough card draw to go with our Panharmonicons. I'm pretty sure that's the issue. But we can fix that. That is a solvable issue. Well, let's play the Deep Cavern Bat. If you say Peanut Butter Captain Crunch, you're officially a psychopath. That stuff is like razor. Oh, what kind of cereal? What kind of cereal do I like? Oh, I mean, I like most cereals. I don't eat Captain Crunch very much. So I haven't tried Peanut Butter Captain Crunch, but like, I don't know, some Lucky Charms with no milk. Pretty delicious. So opponent's going to get lost. They're going to reveal their hand of action twice. Well, I mean, I guess we fire up the cottage. Come on, map token. Don't want a Deep Cavern Bat. We want card draw. Yeah, there's just... Oh, okay, I think I know what we got to do. I know what we got to do to make this deck actually really good. Oh, the marshmallows. The marshmallows are fine. The marshmallows are good. They're... if they're covered with milk, they're all just like... I don't know, like goo of cereal. Breakfast, if we ever did a meal tier list, breakfast would win. Honestly, like, breakfast would be S tier. Every other meal, well, brunch would be like an A, because that's like partly breakfast. But every other meal would be like C or D tier. You gotta agree with, everyone agrees with that, right? That one's an easy take. That's not even a hot take. Ooh, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is good. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. The worst. Oh my goodness. The grainy stuff. I don't even know. Total whatever. Just like it's cereal that I associate with like my grandparents or whatever. Oh, just like mounds of oats or whatever. Ooh. Eggs with. Oh yeah. I mean, when it comes to breakfast, eggs and cheese. Pancakes are good. Waffles are good. Grape nuts. Grape nuts are not good. Opponent somehow has a huge board of... Why are there tokens? Oh, they leveled up one of these? Okay. All right. Rebuild. I think I know what to do. We need more card draw. Ignore. Pretend like... hello. What's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome. Ignore, please. We're rebuilding to make the deck better. So as earlier, I was searching the card library, and I saw those potential cards to include in the theme of the deck. Bonnie Paul to draw and work with lands. Awaken the Woods. Awaken the Woods is intriguing. O'Hare Chasm, Doppelgang, Green Sun Twilight, Glarb, Pillage the Bog, Season of Weaving. Ooh, okay, those are some interesting ideas. So I'm convinced that the most important thing is more card draw. So here's question one about, Dream Do. So here was my initial build. My initial build was this. My initial build was not playing this, It was actually pretty froggy. And I'm starting to think that was actually better. It was Dream Do's. There were some Dower ports. And then Splunking, I feel like Splunking, maybe it's not worth it. Oh no. My God. How in the... All right, wait, how do you spell Splunking? Spelu. Okay, oh, that makes more sense. So I think my initial build was something like this. It does give more card draw, thanks to the Dream Do Entrancer. Oh, so the question is also, like, how much do you embrace the green shell? Like, Preacher of the Schism works really well with this package, because Preacher makes a token that works with Dream Do, it draws cards, it double triggers, not with Virtue, but it can be triggered with Vantress Visions to draw an extra card if you want to. So something like this is the starting point. It does give more card draw. You lose the Splunkings. I guess there's a question like, do we even want to be blue? Is blue worth it? I feel like Dream Do is kind of a sleeper. I don't know if it's just my pet card and it actually sucks, or if it's actually a sleeper and no one else realizes it. But I play a lot of Dream Do's, and I always enjoy having Dream Do. Doppelgang. So the goal that we're trying to win with is Iridescent Vinelasher. So the idea is, Virtue and Knowledge, we play an Iridescent Vinelasher with Offspring. We get 3 of them all together. Then each land's going to deal 6 damage. So then we just like make some land drops, play the Clifftop Lookouts, and next thing you know, our opponent's super dead because our Iridescent Vinelasher just burnt them out of the game. So that's kind of the goal. Whether or not it actually works. What else could we add to the deck? So we had the bear in the deck earlier. Why Virtue over the other big boys? Well, so Virtue, so the upside of Virtue, other than me being a Panharmonicon addict, is it also works with the rest of our deck. So yes, it works with Iridescent Vinelasher, but it also double draws with Fecund Green Shell, double triggers Dream Do, double ramps with Clifftop Lookout, double triggers Bat. So it's working with all the other creatures in our deck. Why not try Roaming Throne? The problem with the Roaming Throne is it only works with a single creature type. So I think I would rather have a Panharmonicon that works with our Dream Do and our Green Shell and our Clifftop and our Vinelasher than play Roaming Throne just to try to make Vinelasher better. I mean, we can add a Baloth to the side. I don't know if Baloth... I'm not sure it's worth it because I never play against discard in best of 3. Do y'all play against discard very often? Maybe it's different because of the season reset. So maybe the season reset just knocked us down enough that we're going to play against a bunch of discard now. I actually think Tranquil Frillback is just... I kind of just want 4 Frillbacks. Frillback is good in like almost every matchup. Cease and Desist, eh? What does Cease do? Cease and Desist. Blow up all artifacts and enchantments. Exile 2 cards from graveyard. That card's actually pretty good. Being able to cycle it for 2 is nice. Worst case, you just cycle it, gain a couple life, draw a card. And then you get the upside of just wrecking an artifact deck. Long River Lurker. Other frogs you can draw at board 1. When it enters, target creature you control can't be blocked. Oh, the blink frog. What else do we add in here? I mean, Mosswood is good. Yeah, I'm not especially worried about discard. I don't feel like discard is actually that heavily played in best of 3. Maybe I'll change my opinion, but any token doublers? Yeah, no token doublers currently. We want Doppelgang, right? Do we? So the thing is, so now we took out a bunch of the ramp. Did we take out so much ramp that Doppelgang is not good? Also, maybe this should just be, maybe the Dower Port's not worth it. Oh, but we have the Fecund Green Shell, like the toughness matters thing. So is Mosswood Dread Knight that doesn't trigger Green Shell better than Dower Port Mage that does trigger Green Shell? I like Doppelganger Awaken over Virtue. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to get me to drop a Panharmonicon. I thought about Case of the Locked Hothouse, which does seem sweet. You play an extra land. Once you get 7 or more lands, you salve it and you can play creatures and enchantments and lands. Oh, and lands off the top of your deck. That actually seems like it could be kind of sweet. 2 Doppelgang and 2 Virtue. My only worry with Doppelgang is just, are we going to get enough mana with this? Like, if we're playing Dower Ports and Dream Dews and Preachers over, like, the other ramp spells, we'll add in one. We'll add in one. I kind of want to try the case. Yeah. I mean, then we're just, then we're kind of a Doppelgang deck. Nothing against Doppelgang. I love Doppelgang, one of my favorite cards to play. I feel like we played a lot of Doppelgang decks. I almost feel like Doppelgang. All right, let's say, I think we can do this. I almost feel like Doppelgang would be better with the previous build of the deck. Which now I'm thinking, all right, let's save this real quick. But what if we did this? What if we Case of Locked House, okay. Get rid of you again. Get rid of you again. What if we go on the full-on ramp plan? D-Turtle. What if we go on the full-on ramp plan, but also have Doppelgang? So we have Blossoming Tortoise, Lumra, Doppelgangs, and then Case of the Lock, and then more Case of the Locked. Maybe, I mean, this is another direction we can go. And then cut some removal. Green Virtue. Love to get to Mike's in Seattle. Love to host a draft for you or something. Yeah, I never make it to the West Coast. I almost never do. I feel like Green Virtue we'd have to rebuild the mana base a smidge to focus on basics. Yeah, we'd have to rebuild a little bit. I think it could be sweet, but we just have to get more basics in there. Maybe we cut do we cut the bats? Is the bat not worth it? We got to cut something. Oh, Glarb. That was the other card people were talking about. Glarb. Look at the top card of your library. You can play lands and cast spells up with mana value 4 or greater from the top of your library. Surveil 2. That actually seems kind of sweet. What do we cut? Okay, we got to cut something. We got to cut something. But what? What do we cut? What do we cut? What do we cut? Okay, we'll go down 1 Virtue against my better judgment. We'll go 3 Doppelgangs and trim a bat. We need ramp on 2. Yeah, standard's not very ramp on 2-y. Yeah, what if we just full ramp, full on ramp? 3 hot houses. What is a hot house? I don't even know what a hot house is. That was probably a question for several sets ago, but all right, let's try it like that. Let's try it like that. This might be worse, but that's fine. That's fine. All right, let's try this one. We can always rebuild. We can always rebuild again. But let's try. Wait, what version was that? I guess I should name my decks. All right. Glarb. All right, let's try that. Let's try. Maybe Glarb is the secret. Glarb might be the secret. Hey, what's up, Dark White Wolf? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Okay, I think Glarb might do it. It might do it. Should we still play for Fecund Turtles? Probably not, but man, that card's so sweet. Not the fastest hand I've ever seen, but we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. Opponent, mulligan. Is this discard? Are they mulliganing to find their bandits talents? With a cute little frog emote. Opponent. Okay, maybe. Well, land, and you know what? We're going to run out this Vinelash. We'll find another one in the future when it's combo time. Are we up against a Sultai deck? What are the chances of that? Sure. We're not going to copy that trigger. Get in, head ya. Opponents. Huh? What is happening? Oh no! Did we get bumped down to like intro deck time? The ghost. Hey, what's up, Lucid? I need to find a way to solve this problem. The problem of the ghost, the case of the camera ghost. I have not figured out a way to solve that yet. Well, play a land and Vinelash. Kick it. Wait, they discarded Conspiracy Unraveler? Oh, it's the Reanimator deck. All right, yeah. And the Steam Core Scholar. Opponent. Gonna draw and discard. Opponent. How are you, Lucid? And a Tally in the graveyard. Well, let's... Fabled Passage, ping ya. I mean, imagine if we had the Virtue down. We would kind of just be winning right now. If we were double triggering all these double Iridescent Vinelashes, we might still be able to get there. Let's grab a Forest. Trigger, ping ya. I mean, see, we can see some of the synergies at least. The deck is doing things. Blossoming Tortoise. Mill some cards. Get back a fetch land. Ping ya. Okay. The Vinelashes are adding up past the turn. That felt a lot better. How do you feel about Leyline of the Void being legal and standard? Super excited for it. I firmly believe that everything should be hated on. I think there are very powerful linear graveyard decks in our current standard, and I think it is a good idea to have... Oh yeah, we're definitely talking about spoilers. I think it's a good idea to have equally powerful hate for those archetypes. So I'm excited for it. I play Leyline quite a bit. I don't even know if I play Leyline in our current meta though. Like, I don't know. Maybe in would it be necessary? I play a lot of Tranquil Throwbacks. Like in this deck, we could play it. Would I exchange my Tranquil Throwbacks? Would I exchange my Tranquil Throwbacks for it? I'm not actually sure. I might stick with Throwback. Yeah, it is funny that we never get new black Leylines, because Leyline of the Void is just so perfect that Wizards just always reprints it whenever they print Leylines. I kind of wish they would print more of them. Like, print some other black... It doesn't always have to be Leyline of the Void. Although I like Leyline of the Void, so... I like the new red one. What was the white one? They spoiled the white one forever ago. Was the white one actually good? I feel like... What is Leyline? Leyline of Hope. Leyline of Hope. So it starts on the battlefield. If you gain life, Oh, it's the Good and Soul Sisters one. If you would gain life, gain that much life plus 1 instead. And then as long as you have at least 7 life more than your starting life total, creatures you control get +2/+2. What do you think about that in bats? Do you think the bat deck could play it? An opponent realizes how reach works and scoops it up. Well, that was easy. We didn't really do a ton, but we won. We won. Was the player Hexproof 1 too busted? No, Leyline of Sanctity. I think Leyline of Sanctity is another healthy one. I'm almost surprised that they didn't just reprint that. I could see that coming in the future. Like, so I think Wizards wants, as crazy as this sounds, people to play the discard deck right now. The discard deck seems so obviously supported. So obviously supported by, what do we cut here? By Bloomborough, that I think Wizards wants it to be a thing, but I imagine that eventually they will print some hate for it, because I've seen a lot of people complain about that deck. That is a deck that, if you go to like the Arena Reddit, people really like to complain about it. So I can imagine Leyline of Sanctity in another couple sets, like put it in Foundations or something. I'd be fine with that just like always existing. Baloth exists. Yeah, Baloth is good. Baloth is good. You gotta be green though, and green is not the best color currently. Do you think they didn't reprint Sanctity because they want to get rid of Hexproof? I don't think so. I think when it comes to protecting players, Hexproof seems like the cleanest and easiest way to do it, I would think. Like, you can remove Hexproof from creatures for ward, but how do you do ward for players seems awkward to me. I don't know. What do you think about, could ward for players work? So, like, if a player wanted to target you with a Thoughtseize, they have to, like, I don't know, pay extra mana or something. I guess you could do that. All right. Well, here we go. Here comes the ramp. And Siege Rhino ended up being so good anyway. Ward's such a... I mean, I actually really like Ward. I know a lot of people don't like Ward. I really like Ward because I feel like it lets Wizards... gives them more knobs to turn to balance cards. Like, Nothing and Hexproof, those are two very blunt instruments, right? It's either your thing just dies constantly or your thing never dies. There's those are not two especially productive knobs. Like, it's just too much. It's too black and white. I feel like Ward just gives you so much flexibility there. So I actually really like that Ward exists. I don't think that they will completely get rid of Hexproof, though. We've even seen Hexproof in Dustborn. We've seen some Hexproof. So I don't think they're going to completely get rid of it, but I think the Ward was actually a good addition. If but I'm here, so Siege Rhino would see some play. But yes, you were mostly correct that Siege Rhino is not what it used to be. Are we dead? Our opponent is popping off here. See, now I wish we had a Leyline of the Void. This Tranquil Frillback looking a wee bit slow, perhaps. A wee bit slow. When if we had a Leyline of the Void, our opponent would just be... I don't think our opponent's deck would exist. Opponent's going to make us discard? All right, sure. I mean, maybe we're still fine. Pona's going to do this whale stuff, but now we get to... We do get to just throw back away their graveyard. Maybe we're still going to... Wow, Atraxa too. Opponent. Oh, this is going to be so good. This is going to be so good. This is going to be so... Oh, we got him. We got him. We got him. This is why the Frillback is in the sideboard. One of the many reasons why, but look at that juicy graveyard. Look at that juicy graveyard. Wow, and they added another Conspiracy Unraveler. All right, Fabled Passage. Crack it for a forest. And put an end to our opponent's hopes and dreams. Tranquil Frillback. And yes, we would like to pay the 1. And I think we will exile your graveyard. Wow. Wow. Hey, what's up, Labrador? How are you? Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't scoop, actually. Wow, they just managed to rebuild pretty nicely. All right, that bought us some time, though. That bought us some time. They found the Squirming Emergence. They have a Chandra in the graveyard. One more Frillback. One more Frillback. Iridescent Vinelash. Huh. Huh. So opponent has 2 mana. What do we do here? I guess we could just play the green shell. Crack the fetch. And yeah, let's play the case. Are they going to counter this? Alright, they do not. Play the Fabled Passage. Get in, hit ya. Oh, we need 2 more lands, but we might be able to get there next turn with this Tortoise. Yeah, we are basically playing a Turtle Tribal deck. Oh no, another Squirming Emergence. Oh, so how bad is the Chandra coming back? I mean, it's obviously bad. Okay, Squirming Emergence. Gonna get the Chandra. They are kind of running out of cards-ish. I don't even know if they can tick +1 Chandra. They're like at risk of actually milling themselves out. Really need to be played when you have the ability to salve it the turn you play it. Yeah, maybe it's not worth it. It feels very slow. It's one of those cards, whenever I look, when I'm working on this deck and I see it in my collection, I'm like, okay, this seems perfect for the deck. But then when I put it in the deck, it always feels way worse than it looks. Because it's hard, once you get to turn 4, it becomes very difficult to actually have an extra land in hand. So you end up in situations like this, where we play it, but we don't get that much value out of it because, wow, they're going to get back both their Founding the Third Pass. Okay. For 2 mana rep, I found 3 potential ones: Thornvelt Forger, Tender Wild Guide, and Glimpse the Core. Yeah, so there are some 2 mana dorks. Wow, and the Bitter Triumph. Okay, kill your Chandra, opponent. Yeah, sure. Oh, this is... Well, I mean, we even nuked our opponent's graveyard. Yeah, we needed Leyline. We needed a Leyline of the Void. We needed a Leyline. So the Mana Dorks just die too much, sadly. So I don't think the Mana Dorks are very good options. Well, play the Tortoise. Actually, let's crack the Fabled Passage first. Crack the Fabled Passage. The Verge lands are very good. I think they're very solid. I think going to be really good in Standard. And I think potentially be able to see a little bit of play in, like, Pioneer. Well, let's Hedge Maze. Mill the Tortoise. Play the Cottage. Oh, this card is so... Okay, I think I'm off the Hot House plan. Hot House just feels so slow. It's so slow. Yeah, and we missed a Feral back, although I think at this point it's probably... It's bordering on too late. We'll see. The only good news is they don't really have a bomb in their graveyard. Like, they can keep casting things. Wait, this is their first spell, right? So it should be... Oh, they choose not to copy it, all right. Well, there goes our Tortoise. We know we're drawing another Tortoise.
No holding back.
Wow. Wait, they... Okay, so they use their Chandra spell copying. That's done. Oh, breach the multiverse. At least that got milled. At least that got milled. I'm sure they're... Oh, they're way better than Pathways. I think they're... They kind of remind me of upgraded Buddy Lands. Oh, another one in hand. They kind of remind me of, like, upgraded Buddy Lands or Check Lands. Also, like the Tainted Lands, obviously. We talked about those before. I don't think they're on like Shockland tier. They're not fetchable, right? So they're not fetchable. But as far as unfetchable dual lands, I think it's relatively high tier. All right, opponent, thanking. 13 cards in the deck, taking up their Chandra. 8 life, but there's also an Atraxa. Oh boy. What do we do? What do we do? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, all right. Iridescent Vinelash, kick it. Or offspring it. Make a baby. Play the tortoise. Oh, there's a land on top. There's a land on top. There's a land on top. Fabled Passage. Trigger, trigger. There's a shot. There's a shot. There's a shot. Ping you to 6. Oh, we have no splunking, so there's not a shot. Ping you 5 and 4. But now they untap with a Chandra and a Founding and an Atraxa. We were so close. Hey, what's up, Dark Stevel? How are you? Good to see you. It's been a minute. Do you think we're getting the entire Verge cycle or only half in the set? Pretty confident that if they were printing all of it, they would have shown it all off today. Usually that's what they do with land cycles. I can't remember a time when they have spoiled only part of a land cycle. So my guess is that's all for this set. Although it seems like the kind of land cycle that they'll be able to finish in the future. Like Verge isn't even a very Dustmourn specific name, so I'm pretty sure. No, Harvest of Mysteries. Okay. Yep. Our opponent did their thing. All right, so maybe we would play Leyline of the Void, given the choice. A reminder, by the way, if you need some Magic cards, you can get them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Ha, man. We didn't draw the Doppelgang. We didn't draw enough frillbacks. I guess maybe we got to bring in the counters. All right, Case of the Locked Hothouse feels jank. I think we're going to cut it. I'm off the hothouse plan. Hey, what's up, Paladinosaur? How are you? Doing well. So I believe, we have Dustmourn, the end of this month. Then we have Foundations, which is like the core set thing. So we have Foundations in November. And then the next actual set. The thing about Free Strider Lookout is it is capped at once a turn, right? So it does, like, get you a land. I mean, I guess if it wasn't capped, it would go infinite or potentially infinite. Which, maybe that'd be too strong. Ugh. Alright, well, Vinelash. Let's start the burning. Vinelash, Restless Cottage. Bang ya. Pass the turn. It might still be worth it, though. Foundations is a full set. Oh, yes. I mean, Case hasn't felt very good. I think we're going to take it back out. The amusing thing about Verges is that a completely full cycle doesn't have 10 lands, but 20. For example, base green while producing white is different than base white while producing green. That's a good point. Opponent cuts down our Vinelash. Oh, Doppelgang. He might be good in a few years. Well, Vinelash with a baby past the turn. Seth, I'm making a Glarb Commander deck with Kerrigan as a companion. Kerrigan? Oh, Karuga? Karuga. It's just a fill deck that wants to get value. Yeah, I can see Karuga working pretty well with Glarb, since Glarb also wants you to play expensive stuff. So opponent milled a Squirmy Emergence, but currently has nothing. Well, we'll see. I mean, if they mill like an Atraxa or something, they essentially just win here if they can mill something else. We don't even have the option to draw. No, come on. No more milling. No more milling. Oh, I mean, even that's pretty. Oh boy. Okay. So, more doppelgangs. We can't even cast them. John Denator, how are you? Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scripture for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Why are we not playing Free Strider? Because we're a Panharmonicon deck opponent. Wow. Okay. Not going to flashback the Squirmy Emergence for Harvester. Instead, just flashback a cut down. Well, let's draw a lot of lands. Yeah, I don't know if we have enough ramp for Doppelgang. We have a lot of ramp, but I don't know if there's enough ramp because it's just not doing not doing much of anything. Bone it. Scholar. Draws. Discards. Doppelgang, the classic. Yeah, up the storm count. Doppelgang for 0. Wow, this is brutal. Brutal. Abundant. Play Awake in the Woods. Awake in the Woods doesn't do anything with Panharmonicons either. Yeah, we tried it. I feel like, honestly, a lot of the things that we... Oh. Okay. GG. I feel like a lot... Well, we'll see what their spell is. We can go for the Throat the Conspiracy Unraveler, but... yeah, it doesn't really matter. Well, Land of the Void cannot come soon enough. Okay, so... I mean, I love Doppelgang. I'm not sure we make enough mana for it. Like, that game... We drew 2 Doppelgang. Doppelgang really needs 11 mana. For Doppelgang to be sweet, at least needs 11 mana. Maybe it was just that draw, but I gotta say, Case of the Locked Hothouse felt really bad. Like, out of here, I don't want to think of you ever again bad. So I think that card might just be very bad. You're putting way too much value in Panharmonicon. Awake in the Woods is so good. Yeah, but the point was to be a Panharmonicon deck. That was the point. That was the point. I mean, when we play Awake in the Woods, I feel like Awake in the Woods is also going to have... Yeah, I think Case is gone. That game convinced me that Case is a bad card. We played that one time and it did nothing. Olir Chasm. I think Olir Chasm takes a bit too much effort. We gotta play it. It's gotta lose Summoning Sickness. Our opponent's gotta be able to not block it. There's just a lot of steps to go through. And it doesn't work with Panharmonicon. Doesn't work with Panharmonicon. I don't even... Maybe the... all right, we'll try it. We'll try it with the Awake in the Woods. See, so the idea is, yes. So here's the thing. I will show you this real quick. So here's the thing. I know here, if we want to build it, we're trying not to do is build this deck. Which I know we can do this thing and win with Vinelash if we do this. Like, I know we can. Because it's a known deck, right? So I was trying to avoid just building the Jund combo deck that already exists. Just because it's a thing. Like, if we want to play that it's a deck list that exists so we can play. So I was trying to avoid just being that. Like, so we know that can work. People, yeah, Kellen. So the thing with Kellen is, it can be ramp. It can be ramp, but you do need to have extra lands in hand. Even with 26 lands, it's not like fully a guarantee. Is Awake in the Woods actually the direction we're going? Man, look at all this. The expensiveness of this scares me. Plus, I guess maybe Glarb is just what Hot House wants to be. Glarb might just be Hot House but better. Hot House that actually does things. I don't know. People really want to try. We're gonna try Awaken because people really want to try it. I don't know. I'm not super duper sold, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, see, so I know you can do the World Soul Rays, Pitiless Carnage, Aftermath Analyst, like Land Reanimator thing. So I know that's I'm not really sold on Doppelgang in this deck either. I love Doppelgang, but I think Doppelgang, you gotta be I don't know if we're committed enough to ramping. I think we gotta be even more committed to ramping than we are now. To the point where maybe we should be like cutting all the removal. Maybe that's, if this doesn't work, we're gonna go back and we're gonna cut this down to the bones and we're just gonna play all the ramp. Because I know we can make cards like Awaken the Woods and Doppelgang good. Do you think Pioneer Soulflayer could still be a thing? Yeah, I mean Pioneer Soulflayer's good. I do like Soulflayer. I don't know why it couldn't be. Oh god, mono blue. Spyglass Siren, alright. What about For the Common Good? What are we copying though? Yeah, it's definitely cooled down a little bit. Almond Path Journey is probably good actually. Well, this might be a quick one. Mono blue artifacts. Well, I guess we gotta kick this Vinelasher because I don't know what else we can do, but this Zoetic Glyph is going to be a problem on the Ginger Brew. Oh, mono blue artifacts. Oh god, this might be the maybe this deck is just the worst deck of all time. That's starting to seem like a possibility. Did we build the worst deck in the history of Magic? Seeming like it might be a yes. Boom, ping ya. You know what? I think Blossoming Sky Tortoise is the problem. Imagine if this was a Dream Dew Entrancer tapping down that Ginger Brew. We'd be cooking. We'd be in business about it. We haven't been winning with it though. We've been playing it, still having fun, but not winning with it. Opponent, gonna make the Ginger Brew unblockable. Get in, hit us. Down to 9. And opponent. Yeah, more Blossoming Tortoises. Okay, all right, you got it, opponent. You got it. Okay. We're going back to the deck building. No. Going back to the deck building. Actually, we got this. Oh, we have a new donation. We have a new donation from Lucid. $3 donation. Hey Seth, what's your all-time favorite against the odds moment? I'd love to hear chats too. Mine is when you activated Spawn Slayer of Ulamog, or maybe Lich's Mirror. Ooh, those are some good ones. Yeah, I'd love to hear other people's favorite. Thank you so much for the donation, Lucid. The Panglacial Worm is one of my all-time favorites. Like that just lined up so amazingly. Where, like, not only did we do the thing and get the Panglacial Worm, but it was against Tron, like, my most hated modern deck, and it was, like, against an Ugin, and somehow the Panglacial Worm was, like, exactly, like, oh, it was like the dream. Like, somehow we ended up in a scenario where out of the 40,000 cards in Magic or whatever, Panglacial Worm was literally the perfect card for that situation. And the odds of that all coming together, where, like, you're recording a video with Panglacial Worm of all things, and the board state is absolutely perfect. Like, all those different things coming together, it's just so incredibly unlikely. So that might be my all-time favorite. Just the Panglacial Worm surprise to beat Tron was so good. I also, for standard decks, I really love the Paradox Engine Aetherworks Marvel deck, where you could, like, keep putting the big energy things into play and essentially, like, play your deck for free with Aetherworks Marvel. It was so janky, but it was so sweet when it actually worked. And then Rhinos always always counts, just because that was kind of the first one. I love when you almost killed yourself with Etherflux Reservoir and Lich's Mastery. Yeah, that was a scary one. Would Pan Glacial Worm be too good for standard? I don't think so. All right, so what if we do this? We awaken the woods. We play the silly frog that ramps us. That makes lands. Vinelash. Heap, whatever. That gets lands. That gets 2 lands. Vinelash, Awaken the Woods. Doppelgang. How are we gonna draw cards though? This is gonna ramp a lot more. I feel like this is gonna. Yeah, that's a thing. I was trying to avoid being the like pitiless carnage combo deck. Was trying to avoid that, but maybe we just end up there anyway. Is Omen Pass Journey better than just playing like an Invasion of Zendikar? Yeah, Caves is I think where he played Doppelgang to begin with. That was our initial home. Freeze Strider. So Freeze Strider is fine. I saw someone tweeted calling it like Splinter Twin or something, but it's not really Splinter Twin because it does only trigger once a turn. But still, if you have Vinelash and you play a land, it'll trigger Freeze Strider, so you get another land and another trigger. So it does it's almost a Panharmonicon for Vinelash in specific. Do we have enough other stuff? What else do we play here? Fanatical Devotion. Like, I don't know if we can play the green shells and so forth. Maybe just Greed's Gambit. That's a draw 3. Can we just play through it? The funny thing is we might be just like ending up back at my initial build with the frogs. That's what started me playing this deck was the frogs to begin with. And we've slowly moved away from the frogs. But maybe the frogs really just are the way to go. The 3G Rhino that Rams did rotate. Yeah, Topiary Stomper. Old Topiary Stomper, finally gone. Northern Vanguard, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. I mean, maybe we don't even need card draw. Who needs card draw? See, I feel like this is where people end up just adding Atraxa to the deck. But then we build Domain. But if you think about it, we have all these different ways of finding lands. So in theory, we're like, oh, we can just play Atraxa if we want to. Are there any cards in Arena? Not really. I mean, there's some that I don't have, but if I need them, I just get them. Yoda Man for the 70th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. What about this? Let me see. Yeah, we could just. I mean, we can try the Aftermath Analyst deck. It is fun, right? Golgari land combo. We can just give it. I mean, we haven't played the tier version of the deck yet. We've been trying to brew with Iridescent Vinelash, but we can just try the. I mean, let's give it a try. We haven't tried it. We can always go back to brewing afterwards. Let's try it. And I mean, I guess tier is probably a bit of a stretch. So this is a deck that is winning with Vinelash. It's essentially the Teamer Lands deck, or similar to the Teamer Lands deck that was in Standard before rotation. So the idea is you sack all your lands to Pitiless Carnage, then you can play Lumra to get all your lands back, or an Aftermath Analyst to get them all back, have a Vinelash out, hopefully just kill your opponent on the spot. Sadly, no Panharmonicons, which, I mean, that's basically how I grade my decks. How many Panharmonicons are there? This one a little light on Panharmonicons, but that's okay. Not every deck can be a Panharmonicon deck, so we'll give it a try, even though there's no Panharmonicon. What did I call it? Aftermath combo? Wait, is Aftermath combo not a good name? Ah, but Panharmonicon. But Panharmonicon's so cool. What do you think of the Room Panharmonicon? Do you think the Room Panharmonicon is going to be good because its text is good, like it just double triggers everything? Or do you think the Room Panharmonicon is going to be bad because it costs roughly infinite mana, give or take, but very close. 7 mana. What do you think of rooms in general? Like, do you think are rooms going to be good? Are they going to be playable? I feel like there's a room tax, which is probably unavoidable because of the flexibility you get. So it's probably unavoidable, but I do think there's like a bit of a tax on rooms. It's like going to Vegas, going out to MagicCon Vegas. I was looking at rooms for MagicCon Vegas. It's wild. I hadn't really thought this through, but I don't know how they get away with it, but they charge you like, getting those lands back would be sweet. The tax is like 14% or something, and then they charge you like $40 a night in a fee. I don't even know how they get away with that opponent. Oh my god, it's Lightning Helix. Well, okay, land and Splunking. Draw a card. Put another land into play. I mean, at some point we can sack all of our permanents and hope we find a Lumra. Yeah, it's kind of wild. How many of you are going to Vegas? Are many of you going to Vegas? Oh, we're going to start streaming? That's awesome. Game Vanner. Up the beanstalk. Seth never mentioned the word wedding when booking a hotel. Wait, wedding? The podcast will be live... probably like 6-ish. It'll be after the stream. Oh, is Prof going to be in Vegas? I mean, I would love to play with Prof if he's going to be in Vegas. Ooh, let's play the land. Let's crack the Fabled Passage. Grab a swamp. Play a Splunking. Put the Fabled Passage into play. I mean, we're getting close to comboing. Seth, can you do Commander Clash Live with audience members? Ooh. So we've been doing Commander Clash games. Here comes the Niv. We've been doing Commander Clash games through the Patreon. With patrons through the Patreon. So that's probably the closest that we've gotten to it. If you're at like a MagicCon where we're at, definitely would love to play a game with you. Usually don't have the setup to be able to really record. Huh. Well, let's play Nissa. Play a forest. Trigger. Make green. Play Splunking. Trigger. Draw a land. Iridescent Vinelash. All right, well, pass the turn. Chris incoming. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Oh, in Vegas. Yeah, it would probably be hard. It would definitely be hard to record it. But we can definitely jam a game if you're in Vegas. How much to be a special guest on the podcast? We don't usually do many guests on the podcast, and we've definitely never gotten money from someone to be on the podcast. Is that a thing? Do people normally pay to be on podcasts? What a wild system. I didn't even know that was a thing. But yeah, if you're in Vegas, find us for sure, because we're going to be hanging out and jamming games. I don't think... Oh, they're just going to end up countering this. Well, play that. And play the Nissa. See, if only we had a Panharmonicon. Pass the turn. Where are you at, Cornelius? Opponent. We have some interesting Commander Clash themes coming up the next couple weeks. I'm excited and curious to see what people think of the themes, because some different stuff that we've never done before in so many Commander games. Wow, Crackling Wit. I mean, I think this next turn we just basically have to try to do something no matter what. Oh, there's the Lumra. Okay. So if our opponent has a counter, we probably just lose. Well, let's do it like this. QQ, tap everything. Pitiless Carnage. Please don't counter this opponent. We're trying to do something cool. Okay. Sack literally every land and most of our Splunkings. Okay. Did not seem like our opponent had a counter. So we can play an Iridescent Vinelash. And then play an Iridescent Vinelash. Forest. Ping-ya. Can we deal 30 damage? This turn? Lumra. Get them all back. Mill some cards. Get a bunch of triggers. This is honestly way easier than what we were doing. I will give it that. This is a little bit easier. But there's no Panharmonicon. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. But does it even count if there's no Panharmonicon? I'm just saying. Wow, that's actually Exacxies. we just randomly Exacxied them with Vinelasher triggers. Okay. Well, we'll count it as half of a win because there was no Panharmonicon, but that was still pretty sweet. that was still pretty sweet, I will say. Yeah, we could have sacked the Fabled Passages too if we needed to. I don't even know if we change much of anything. Aclazotz doesn't get through Niv. Maybe we need Terror Tides? Go for the throw and cut down. I don't think does anything. So Duress is in. Terror Tide, Aclazotz, running like that. The video where you played First to Lose has been my favorite Commander Clash in years. Please do more walkie stuff like that. Ooh, I'm glad you like that one. That one I was really unsure. Oh yeah, maybe the tears would have been worth it. I was really unsure on. I figured people are either going to love it or hate it. I figured that was one of those no middle ground themes where either like everyone's going to think it's super cool or everyone's going to be like, this is just too weird. I don't want to deal with it. So I'm glad it turned out with people liking it. Let's just get rid of, I guess, the cornucopia. Oh, about it. Passing. Forest. Go. So we can Splunking next turn. Hopefully set up an Aftermath Analyst. Yeah, Duress is really good. Duress, I think, has to be in Foundations. I think Duress is one of those cards. What's a card that you would want in Foundations? It doesn't have to be a card that's likely to be in Foundations, but if you could pick a card that would exist in Standard for the next forever, basically, for the next 5+ years, Fatal Push. Fatal Push is interesting. I don't know. People already get upset about Cut Down, and Fatal Push is like Cut Down plus. So I do wonder if maybe it would be too good. Now, opponent's missing their land drops. That's going to make life easier. Lightning Bolt, Blood Moon I would love. Blood Moon, I mean, no one else would love it, but I would love it. We need more Goblin Grenade reprints. Goblin Grenade's such a cool card. Ether Vial. I am surprised that we don't yet have Ether Vial on Arena. I'm actually surprised by that. Questing Beastback would be interesting. Well, all right. Probably should have played a second Fabled Passage earlier, but whatever. We'll make it work. Fabled Passage and Lumra. Do a little milling. Hopefully hit some lands. All right, we hit some lands. And now we'll just pass. Can you beat our bear? Lightning Bolt, Thoughtseize, Mana Leak. All of those I would be okay with, except I think Thoughtseize. I have high tolerance for Thoughtseize, and I view Thoughtseize in a lot of formats as the good guy, stopping the degenerate things. I don't know about Standard, though. Last time it was in Standard, maybe the power level is so high now it'd be fine, but last time it was in Standard, there was a lot of complaining about Thoughtseize. That was a card that, like, newer players and more casual players didn't like, pros didn't like. It was very, very much complained about. Yeah, that's the other thing, right, too, is Wizards wants to be able to print exciting cards still, so they can't print the best version. Same with, like, Counterspell. I think, and I might get yelled at for saying this, but I think that you could give Counterspell a run through Standard. I think you could. There would probably be some complaining, but I think everyone would survive and it would be fine. However, you can't put Counterspell into Foundations, because then it's in Standard forever. So you have to put, like, Mana Leak in Foundations, but then you could give Counterspell some run by putting it in one of the other sets. So that's Aftermath Analyst. Mill a few cards. And then let's do a little QQing. Actually, I guess we don't even need to QQ. We could whiff. The odds are not very high, but we should be able to find it, right? If we find the Pitiless Carnage, all right, there's Pitiless Carnage. Now we will QQ. And we will Carnage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We need to keep 1 to keep Bloomer around. So do a little sacking. And then sack the Aftermath Analyst. Get it all back. And crack the Fabled Passage. This deck actually seems good. This deck seems kind of strong. I think we can... Well, I don't know if we can win this turn. Can we win this turn? So, how much mana do we have? 12. So, Vinelash for 3. Oh, that doesn't work. So let's Pitiless Carnage. Oh, we're drawing too many cards. Pitiless Carnage. Are we killing ourselves here? Maybe. Pitiless Carnage. Sack all but 1 land. No fear. No fear. draw a ton of cards. Oh, we need so much mana. So play Iridescent Vinelash. No, baby. Iridescent Vinelash. No, baby. Lumra. Get all the lands back. And it's kind of like having Valakut in Standard. It's kind of like having Modern Valakut in Standard. An opponent scoops it up and scoops it up. Well, I don't know if it's as cool as the Panharmonicon deck, but way more successful. Yeah, not enough mana to make the baby there, unfortunately. Oh, also, I forgot we have a bounty. We have a bounty today. All right, I'm gonna play. It's like 3 minutes. We haven't done one of these in a while. Let me see if I can pull this up here. So we get to see. I checked. I watched this. I know this is for like some sort of horror movie, but there's nothing explicit in the trailer thing. Let me see. So do a little bounty-ing super quick. And all right, here's this just a little video. No Evil is I'm not familiar with Speak No Evil. I'm pretty sure it was based on like it was based on something. Is anyone familiar with it? I'm actually curious. This trailer spoils the entire movie. I haven't seen the movie. Hopefully it doesn't spoil too much of it. I think it was based on like a European film of some kind. I think I'm interested in it. It's the kind of horror movie. Those are my favorite kind of horror movies that are kind of realistic. For me, like doing super far flung, like, I don't know, stuff that's not realistic at all. I don't find that especially scary because I think it's like, it can't happen, so what's the point of being scared of it? On the other hand, like stuff that's kind of realistic, like serial killer stuff and things like that, those are the horror movies that I find more interesting because in theory something like that could actually exist. Yeah, he definitely gives off serial killer vibes. Who is the Arthur or the author? Who is the actor? I don't know if I know the actor. How about the sequel of the Meat Hook Massacre? Yeah, the Meat Hook Massacre. The Meat Hook Massacre 2 looks super fun. I'm excited for the funness of it. It seems hard to play outside of Commander though. I feel like they had to power it down a little bit because of the first one being so good. Oh, James McAvoy. I don't know who James McAvoy is really, but I don't know, the movie, I think I might have to check out the movie. It seems interesting. Seems like the kind of horror movie that I could get behind. So anyway, I think it's coming out. It's coming out at tickets are going on sale now. So if you're interested, that is a movie. A good old movie. Anyway, let's do some more magicking. The spoiler, have you noticed that spoilers this spoiler season have been very inconsistent, I would say, as far as the release. We went from like having a ton of spoilers on Saturday to very few spoilers Sunday and Monday to like a huge amount of spoilers today. Yeah, it's a very bursty spoiler season. It's not the like consistent drip. It's like a huge amount and then not much and then a huge amount and then not much. I was looking for a Sweet Virtue of Knowledge deck. I saw one at the Stores Championship from Japan with Greed's Gambit. Wait, do you have a deck list? No. Is this a real thing? Is there a deck list? Yeah, there's been almost 0 leaks this set, which, I mean, is a good thing. That sounds super spicy. We do live in constant spoilers season. If there's actually, let me see. We might try it. Oh, I think no, maybe. So we've played something kind of similar. Like we've played the Coveted Falcon, Greed's Gambit thing before. Virtue of Knowledge is spicy, though. I guess that's another way to, like, try to break this symmetry of Greed's Gambit, because you can, Ooh, alright, well, let's suspend this Carnage. Because you can, trigger it twice, but you only have to sacrifice once. I don't know, we could try it. It is a little bit control-y. I guess it's not that control-y, actually. It's more like, it's kind of mid-rangey, I guess, more than full-on control.
This is my home, and I don't appreciate it when people touch me.
I do love me a good Panharmoniconing. Liliana A. Liliana A. Opponent takes it up, gets in, hits us. Well, Aftermath Analyst, mill some cards. This is not a good time to be missing land drops. Oh boy, we didn't even mill a land. Oh dear. This deck plays so many lands, I don't know how we're managing to miss lands. I'm assuming we can expect a room against the odds with the win the game room. Yeah, that was my first. As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is probably going to be the first against the odds. Wow, this is getting...
Don't overthink things.
This is getting bad. This is getting really bad. Opponent discards another Liliana and gets in with the Dread Knight. And... Alright... I mean, I don't even know if this gives us a realistic shot here. So we grab a Forest. We can play an Aftermath Analyst. Mill some cards. This deck does... The last game was so... No. Yeah. And then play an Aftermath Analyst. And mill some cards. But Liliana can kill it. Ooh, so it seems like a very all or nothing deck. It seems like either when it works, it's spectacular, but when it doesn't work, we do nothing. Am I up to date on spoilers? I think we've... Oh, wait, no, I think we got a new one. We have a new one. We have a new one. We're gonna pull it up. And opponent takes it down. We'll pull it up after we finish this game, but there is a new one. A Nissa. Well, we'll play the Nissa. This Pitiless Carnage is not doing a ton. Opponent. Oh, come on now. All right. Hi, that wasn't even close. We have a new spoiler, though. And Mary Brett, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. How do the new room enchantments work when reanimated? They do not. If you reanimate them, blink them, otherwise get them on the battlefield without paying for them, the rooms will be locked. So you can reanimate them, but then you're still going to have to pay the mana value of the room to open it up and get any effect out of it. So it would just be, in theory, if you reanimated a room, it would be a 0 mana value enchantment sitting on the battlefield. So we have a new ley line. It is Leyline of Trans... All right, let me just pull it. Leyline of Transformation. So, if it's in your opening hand, it begins on the battlefield. When it enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. This is true for creature spells you control and creature cards that you own that are on the battlefield. Hey, see ya, Coin Bop. That card's pretty sweet. That card's actually... So, it's essentially like a conspiracy effect. We have several of these, but we've never had a free one before. There are some combos for turning all your creatures into all types. What is the other blue one? Xenograph? I think it's Xenograph. Xenograph, choose a creature type. Creatures you control are, yeah. So it's actually even a discount compared to Xenograph, which was 5 mana. It's so funny to see it go from this 5 mana effect down to essentially free if it's in your opening hand. That card's cool. I don't know. Maybe it allows for some interesting Bloomborough shenanigans. Maybe it allows for some like mixing of tribes or something, like turning all your frogs into rabbits or whatever. Definitely a cool design. What is the sphere too? We got a new fear. Fear of Imposters. 3 mana 3/2 flash. When it enters, counter target spell. It's, oh my god. Oh, that's actually a good uncommon, isn't it? Wait, so it's a when it enters, counter target spell, not creature spell or non-what creature spell, just any spell, and its controller manifest dread. And you get so your opponent's gonna get a 2/2, but you counter their spell and you have a 3/2, and you could blink it. Isn't that one of the cheapest counter creatures that we've seen? And it is the first enchantment, I believe. Well, there are enchantments that counter spells in their own weird way, but I think it's the first one like that. Kind of like a swan song. It helps that you have a body, and it helps like it's blinkable. I think the biggest upside of it is that you're able to potentially use it multiple times. Hey, wow, Jim! Thank you for the raid. What's up, everyone? We're doing some iridescent vine lashing at the moment. We started with Panharmonicons, and then chat made me stop playing Panharmonicons because they wanted to win a game or two. I know. So now we're gonna win without Panharmonicons, which honestly I don't even know. I'm still not sure if that counts as winning or not, but we're gonna find out. How was your stream? How was your stream, Jim? Oh, welcome! Hopefully y'all had a super fun stream. What were y'all playing today? You doing limited or are you playing constructed today? Did you get to Mythic, Jim? Swan Song, except you can manifest dread their bomb on the battlefield. Ah, the manifest dread thing. I don't know, this is one of those sets. Hey, you played this deck today too? Yeah, I mean the deck, when it pops off, it's super cool. Well, that's Splunking. We need a little bit more mana. Boy, if we can get to 6 mana, we're going to be able to return our lands to play, that's for sure. Opponent. It is funny that we got Manifest Dread, which is a very slight twist on Manifest. And then we also got Eerie, which is a very slight twist on Constellation. It's funny to see multiple... Oh, that's not a land. Well, play the Nissa. Oh, we might have to get a Vinelash. I'm worried about Liliana getting rid of Nissa. Because if we just draw a land next turn, we can do the thing. We can try to do the thing. Let's grab a Forest. Make black. Sadly, no little baby lizard, but get down a lizard as a buffer. Played a super sweet Is It deck. Is It Otter like prowess control deck that was unexpectedly good. Having Raul and Teferian play at the same time was wild. Yeah, that does sound spectacular. Manifest Dread is such a funny name. Yeah, it is. It is a little bit. I mean, there's been so many Magic cards and sets that you gotta make some variations on thing, and I think the flavor works. The flavor works well. Oh, that's probably game ending. Yeah, and there's the Dread Knight, and then Escape Tunnel. I don't know how we managed to miss land drops with this deck. Well, so I guess we can like plan Aftermath Analyst. I guess we can try to chump block. We can try to chump block, but it doesn't even like. So we can try to chump block and then play Lumra next turn. If we draw a land that is untapped, But the Loomer by itself doesn't really do anything. Like, we get back some lands, but it doesn't actually win us the... Well, I mean, if somehow the Vinelasher lives, maybe. But we're not going to get 21 lands. So we chump here. We go to 1. And to see what happens... It all starts with top decking on tap land, that's for sure. Tap land, no good. No land, no good. Glissa, okay. Well, all right, Magic Gods. All right. Oh, I guess we could have let this go because we have Splunking. That would have been slightly better. We deck thin for no reason. Ow! Oh, so many Aftermath analysts. Hey, have fun playing basketball, Jim. Thanks for the raid. Yeah, thinning the deck. Thinning the deck probably wasn't worth it. Although, honestly, we've mathed out deck thinning. The amount that it changes is very tiny, so the odds that it actually mattered is very low, but... Hey, what's up, Cat Cam? With their twist on Manifest and Constellation, I hope they eventually come up with some sort of twist on Kicker. I think a variation on Kicker or something. I know Kicker is such a classic mechanic that you would think they would want to revisit that eventually. There's so much untapped potential there. I mean, you could probably make like 5 or 10 different mechanics based off Kicker. Maybe even more than that. Yeah, why don't we ever revisit Kicker? They did it that one time and then nothing like that ever happened again. Go Gary, eh? Yeah, so I was kind of joking there because the joke is that every mechanic is actually Kicker, which is kind of true. They did do multi-Kicker. It's kind of funny that when they did Megamorph, we memed on that so hard. But when they did multi-Kicker, which now that I think about it, in hindsight, is pretty much as janky and cringy as Megamorph. I don't remember anyone freaking out about multi-Kicker. But Megamorph, you can't have Megamorph. That's just silly. Every mechanic is horsemanship and Kicker. I would add DFCs to that list. Pretty much every mechanic is some combination of horsemanship, Kicker, or DFCs.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
How do we do this? I feel like we're always playing against Golgari. Well, play the Analyst, mill some cards. Play the Escape Tunnel. Silly fetch lands. Opponent. I have a silly EDH deck, roughly banged out, based around having Urborg and Yavimaya. Ooh, let me see, motherfrogger. Opponent, ticking up.
I'm tired of your secrets.
I think we have to keep the Aftermath Analyst. Deep Cavern Bat to take the Aftermath Analyst. This feels like a bad matchup. Our deck just does nothing. Oh, God, again. And they kill the Analyst. This is where the deck feels so bad. So what do we do about this? Because now we just, like, do nothing forever. Well, Found it. Runs out another bat. Maybe this deck should be playing Fountain Ports and stuff. Is there a way we could... Found it. Discards a land. Goes to combat. I mean, we're on a fast clock because we have to somehow beat this Liliana. We draw Splunking. Better than literally nothing. Into a land, please. Oh, wow. That's a card we needed it not to be. And now we discard it to Lily. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's bad. Oh, that is the one card we did not want to draw. We would have literally taken anything except a Pitiless Carnage there. Literally anything. About it. Gets in. Down to 13. All right. Wow, that was like speed draw. Did you see that? I don't know what made Arena do that, but it drew super fast. Okay, actually, I don't know if this is any better than our Panharmonicon deck, actually, when it comes down to it. I mean, we got to win with it, but... But, overall, this Golgari matchup feels super bad. Well, crack these lands, thin the deck. So what do we want here? So if we draw like land reanimation, I guess that's fine. It seems like this deck just has to have cut down. So we reanimate all our lands and then sack them to Liliana. Actually, we discard it to Liliana. Man, if we had one more land, we could reanimate right now. I think part of what made the deck so good before rotation is all those janky Streets of New Capenna fetch lands. All those janky Streets of New Capenna fetch lands, the life gain was actually super relevant. Huh. I mean, I guess we just run it back. Run it back, see what happens. I kind of feel like, though, I don't know. We're going to try Panharmonicon again after this. We tried this build. I want to go back to the Panharmonicon build because I feel like we're going to go back to just the very original build. The very original one with the frogs because I feel like that might be the best one. Frogs, Panharmonicons. I mean, at least in that case, even if you lose, it doesn't even matter, does it? You're winning no matter what. Let's see this deck. Ethereal Armor is a very solid reprint. Pyroclasm kind of shocked me. I was shocked to find Pyroclasm coming back. That's another big one. It's the ghost. The ghost is back. Someday I'll figure out how to solve that. Hey Seth, how's the stream so far? Doing well. How are you, Hirosek? How do you feel about the flavor of the next set? Personally, I don't like it. To see cards, name and artwork like Acrobatic Cheerleader, Undead Sprinter hurts me so much. Kind of feels like a joke of a WotC designer. Undead Sprinter. Okay. Undead Sprinter. What was the other one? Acrobatic Cheerleader. So what's the I mean, so it's what I would expect, right? It's what I would expect. We know, I mean, where's the stated design? We know that Wizards has been very on the nose with some of their references. So this is kind of exactly what I would expect out of them doing a modern horror set. Like, the zombies and the cheerleaders and all that stuff, I don't know. It kind of makes sense to me. After Outlaws of Thunder Junction and Murders of Karlov Manor, I'm just happy that not everyone's wearing the same kind of hat. Like, that means they dialed it down a little bit at least. Although maybe there's just no hat that gets across horror. So maybe we just accidentally dodged a bullet because of the lack of good horror hats. But, we could have very well had some sort of, I don't know, famous Ravnica characters in a Jason mask or something. That was a possibility. So yeah, I mean, it's a little goofy or whatever, but I think this is just what Magic is now. Magic has changed, and I think in a lot of ways it's for the better. Like, I don't know. I'm coming to grips with it. My philosophy now is every set is an unset, and if you think of Magic as every set is an unset, not much bothers me anymore. I just think of that's what my level is now. That stuff that 10 years ago I would think, oh, that only goes into unset. Now I just expect that in every set, and it's technique has kind of worked out well for me personally. So that's just kind of how I view it. It's definitely goofier. Oh, man, how do we miss land drops with this deck? It's definitely goofier and gimmickier, and maybe like aiming more for the lowest common denominator rather than trying to be high fantasy. But
Fight?
for me, when it comes down to it, if I enjoy playing the game and the cards are good and I have fun playing with the cards, for me that is brutal. For me, that is all that really matters. When it comes down to it, that's really the most important thing. So yeah, I can see how cards like Acrobatic Cheerleader and so forth wouldn't exist in Magic like 10, 15 years ago, for sure. So I can see how that would be very jarring. At the same time, I guess I've just come to try to embrace the goofiness of it, and like boy, bad timing for the Restless Cottage. Yeah, that did not go well at all. Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? You either accept it or you're just going to be miserable. And when it comes down to it, if the game has still been really fun, like Standard in specific has been in a really, really fun place. So I don't know if there's some goofy cheerleaders along the way, as long as I'm enjoying the game, that's fine with me. And like, there's definitely good changes from that, right? Like, I think even though balloon tokens are definitely a very unset thing, I think Jolly Balloon Man, like, I think that's going to be one of the most iconic cards from this set. Like, it's just creepy. I think the art's really cool. It plays really cool. But it's making a balloon token, which would have been something that not that long ago would not be a black border card. But I think it's fine overall. Freaky Jeeky. That is actually a good name for it. All right, this turtle. Okay, we're going back to the very beginning. We're going back to the very beginning. We're going back to where we started, and we're gonna see. So let's see if this works. Dream to Entrancer in. Preacher in. What else is supposed to be in here? Dour Port Mage in. How many lands we got? 26. Go down a Restless Vinestock. What am I missing? I'm missing something. Virtue and Knowledge, Green Shell, Dream Dew. Are we keeping the Awake in the Woods? You remember which cards you need that remove permanent types to result in a permanent that has no card type. I'm struggling to remember how it happens. Oh no. Oh, I'd have to look it up. I feel like I did a short. About that, and I cannot remember. Oh, it was bats. I cannot remember what it was though. If anyone remembers, let me know. I don't even know if we want. Do we really want the bats? Are the bats even worth it? Are bats good? Does anyone? What about mockingbirds? Maybe. Yeah. All right. We'll just go back to the very basics. So I think this is where we started. Let's give it a go. Boom. This is the one. Oh, right. It involved mutating. Yeah, mutate allows for all kinds of really wonky, weird things. Seth, for your point of view, thanks for your point of view. I started Magic 29 years ago. Maybe I'm too nostalgic. It's more in a universe beyond like Doctor Who. What absolutely okay to me. It's more like a universe beyond like Doctor Who. What's absolutely okay with me. Yeah, and your feelings. So that's the thing. Like, I think when people are just like, oh, you're just an old man yelling at the clouds or whatever, to people who are like I don't like these changes. I don't think that's right either. Like, I think that if you're someone who's been playing Magic for 30 years, the changes that have been made in the last few years are really jarring. And it is a very legit and real opinion to not like that. You don't have to, just because it's so funny to me, people and their love of big companies, just because a $1 billion company whose job is to make as much money from you as possible makes a decision that you don't like, that doesn't mean you have to like it. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, that's great, I'm glad this $1 billion company is doing something I want them to do. Like, it is completely legitimate to feel differently. So I hope people are understanding of that. I don't know. Plus, I just don't like companies very much. Whenever, I think part of it, I've thought about this recently, because sometimes I'm pretty critical of Wizards. And when it comes down to it, yes, it's like about Wizards, but really, a lot of my issues isn't really about Wizards. I think a lot of it comes down to just my like dislike of large corporations and how all of that works. And Wizards gets the brunt of it because I do Magic all day. So when I'm thinking about a $1 billion company, you know, and their messaging and their communications and stuff, it just tends to be Wizards. So Wizards ends up getting the worst of it, even though part of it's just like, I really don't like how like the whole system is set up in a lot of ways. Personally, balloon tokens and things like that don't bother me. TV screens and car robots and card art does. Somehow it feels like another game, and the boards just don't fit when playing Commander, but it's fine as long as the mechanics are good. I know you have to listen to the podcast today because we had some very mixed opinions on this set. Krim, of course, if you know Krim, Krim loves his horror movies. So Krim is like, this is my set of the year, the set I'm most hyped about. Richard, on the other hand, Richard cannot even like watch a horror movie. He's like very much like it's just too much for him, so he can't even like watch a horror movie. So Richard takes on the set are actually very, very unique, which I guess is not a surprise because Richard always has unique takes, but his takes are kind of funny, and I hadn't really thought of them because I'm like pretty fine with horror movies too. I like horror movies, so it's excuse me, it's funny to see the perspective of someone who does not do horror movies, does not enjoy horror movies on a set like this, because it's way different than the perception of someone who does like horror movies. And I think it's doubly jarring because we're coming off Bloomborough, which is just like the cutest set of all time, just like the cutest, furriest little animal set. And now we're going to the straight up horror set. Podcast should be out later today. We recorded it right before the stream, actually. Yesterday, the schedule's been wonky lately. It was a holiday and Richard's still in China, so that makes the time zones and everything really weird. So we pushed it back a day, but it's coming up later today. Visa, after discarding an Atroxa. Dowerport Mage. Well, let's play Dowerport. And pick up the frog. I mean, we're just gonna outdraw Atroxa with our frogs. If you could have any guest on the podcast or the Commander Clash podcast, who would it be and why? Oh boy, that's a good one. Who would if I could only have one guest? I mean, so this is probably like the worst answer. But it'd be really cool to have Richard Garfield would be like a dream. So I assume if it's someone who actively plays Magic, like, I'm curious who you would like to have as a guest on the podcast. The thing with CGB worked out super easily because he's friends with Krim and we've been talking and it just kind of came together naturally. It's not like we kind of set out to get him on as a guest. It was just like, hey, it happened to work out that way. I imagine like the professor's been on some. So when we did the guest season of Commander Clash, Professor did one of them. I would love to hear another one, and this one. If we could actually have a serious conversation about philosophy and ban list, the number one answer, might just be the Commander RC. It might be the Commander RC. Would I have any interest in just like, I don't know. If it wasn't a serious conversation, I wouldn't be especially interested in it. But if it was a serious conversation about like what we want out of Commander and our philosophies on things, that would be really sweet. Mark Rosewater would be fun. Mark is just fun because how excited he gets about Magic. His enthusiasm for the game rubs off on me. Like, I don't know. I like when people like things, and there are not many people who like things more than Mark Rosewater likes Magic. And you can just tell it. You can just tell by the way he's talking about it. Now, we're going to run out the green shell and see what happens. We might be playing into a brutal Sunfall here, but all right. Pass the turn. Don't Sunfall us. Commander Rules Committee. It's the group that decides on all the bannings for Commander and controls the rules of Commander and so forth. Post Malone would also be cool. Just for the music. Ugh, well, we played into the Sunfall quite expertly. We do get to draw a couple cards because Dowerport's actually really sweet. That is a 9/9 incubator token, though. Well. What do we do now? Fecund Green Shell and Trigger. Ugh, that's not a land. That's not a land. 1, 2, 3. Do we just do it again? All right, let's just do it again. Fecund Green Shell. Find us a land this time, please, you stupid turtles. Come on. All right, well, we found a land. That's good. And then crack this. Do we still have a swamp? Where are all of our... Do we forget to put in the Panharmonicons? Are there no Panharmonicons in here? Why have we not drawn a Panharmonicon yet? Trigger. Wow, okay, there are Panharmonicons. Haha! Vinelash, paying ya. Down to 20. We will discard a go for the throat. Do we die to a sweeper? No. You were actually the single most enthusiastic person for Magic I know of. I think you beat Mara. Well, I will take that as the biggest compliment. Yeah, it's cool to see builders. I feel like someone played this against me earlier, like a couple days ago, and no one had really played it against me. It's actually kind of good, right? So it's 2 mana, you get a wall. 1 more mana, whatever, non-creature, non-land permanents, blah, 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 get an extra counter or something. The last mode, though, 5 mana, reanimating non-creature, non-land permanent. I feel like that mode has some untapped potential. I'm not sure why this card hasn't caught on more. Yeah, it would be cool. I'll have to look into the possibility of doing the Commander RC thing. I just know if it's like, what's our favorite decks or something, that's not especially intriguing to me. I'd want it to be a more serious conversation about the format. How do we do this? So we can play a Vinelash. So play a Vinelash. Virtue and Knowledge, the Vinelash. Ha-ha! And then Virtue and Knowledge, the Vinelash. Ha-ha! That's a lot of lizards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll just play Clifftop Lookout. Uh-huh. Find us a land there. Find us land. Get a few triggers. Uh-huh. And then we can play the bat to make sure there's not a Wrath in hand. Opponent goes to 15. Play the bat, take a peek. Is there a Sunfall? Invasion of Tavolda and go for the throw. What does Invasion of Tavolda get? Atraxa? Hmm. So they get back Atroxa. How bad is getting back Atroxa? Maybe we just take... You know what? We're going to take the invasion. If our opponent wants to go for the throat the bat and then spend their entire turn of mana getting back Atroxa, I think there's a chance we just combo kill them. Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, that's so unlucky. Oh, that's very... I mean, we did everything right. We did everything right, but the magic god said no. All right, virtue and knowledge. Play a deep cavern bat. Trigger. Yeah, no thought season that. And then they get the Atroxa back after all this anyway. So they still have the invasion. We can't stop the invasion. I'll play the preacher. And pass the turd, yeah. Man, that Sunfall top deck was so brutal. No, the podcast is coming out tonight. It just got pushed back. It got pushed back by a day because of Labor Day stuff here in the US. So it's still coming. It's coming. It just got pushed back. Oh, about it. Invasion of Tavolda. All right, here comes the Atroxa. And opponent. More. What is this deck? What is this deck that our opponents... Apparently, Caretaker's Talent is the One Ring of Standard. But you play Caretaker's Talent and you can... And the token producing package of Sunfall and the whatever. And you can put anything around it, apparently. Maybe we do need that artifact and enchantment sweeper. Maybe we do need to actually play Cease and Desist. That's... Sounds kind of insane, but that might actually be the world we... Is there any point even playing this out? I think we're just... I mean, we're dead, right? Look at the amount of cards in our opponent's hand. Look at the amount of cards in our hand. We do have a Panharmonicon, though. We do have a Panharmonicon. And we draw another land. Well, okay. We got a combat attack. Draw a card. Another Panharmonicon. Opponent's going to take it. Well, we will play a Dream Dew Entrancer. Tap the Atroxa. Tap the Preacher. And Virtue of Knowledge. Copy it. Tap the Preacher. We need to draw some cards here to keep up. Well, there's a bunch of Go for the Throats. So another Atroxa's coming. They have a Get Lost, so we can't really attack with the Risen Reef and Mill. Well, play another Virtue. I mean, maybe we got a shot here. Opponent doesn't have that many cards left in their hand. We definitely don't want Fabled Passage. Seth, will there ever be another extra... I don't think we need the fourth Virtue. We need things to trigger the Virtue. All right, pass the turn. Will there ever be another extra turn spell in Standard? I doubt it because the extra turn deck that was in Standard a few years ago. I mean, they just... Well, I guess it wasn't in Standard. It was a special guest. But they did just reprint Expropriate. I would say... I think there will still be extra turn spells in Standard. But I don't think they're going to go for, like, super pushed over the top good ones. Opponent. Counters on the dork. And get lost to kill the frog. And I'm gonna flip the invasion. Okay. Sure. Wait, is Caretaker's Talent a May? Whenever one or more tokens enter, draw. Okay, so it's not a May. If we can somehow keep living, which we probably can't, but if we could, we might be able to mill our opponent out eventually. Do you think Atraxa is a healthy standard card? Should Atraxa be a card that exists? So opponent makes a spirit, draws a bunch of cards. We will kill the spirit. We need to top deck something right. Well, man, the odds are so low, and they have the incubator. We need to top deck. Well, Fecund Green Shell. When in doubt, turtle it out. Play the green shell. Trigger 3 times. We also have almost milled out. Forest, put it into play. My God, another land, put it into play. Okay, Vinelasher, Vinelasher, Vinelasher. Auto pay. Oh, we might be doing it. Oh my goodness, we might be doing it. Here comes the Vinelasher. Make some babies. Make some babies. Come on. 3 times. Trigger. Put that land into play. Oh, we did it. We did it. Through the Atraxa. Through the Atraxa. Through the Caretaker's Talent. The Panharmonicons. Finally. Finally. That's what I was seeing in my head. That's what I was seeing in my head when we were building this deck. Is that happening? That's what we wanted to see. Oh, wow. Okay, we finally got there. Oh, we did it. We did it. Yeah, we gotta finish the match, but we're gonna bring in 4 Tranquil Frillbacks. I actually kind of like the idea of playing Cease and Desist there. Wow, it took a lot of work, but we got there. We got there. In the end, the power of the Panharmonicon. Just too much for our opponent to take. That sweet, sweet Panharmonica power. We are not playing the end, although we could play that. Maybe it's worth playing the end in the sideboard. This is the end, my one and only friend. Oh, I have a question for you, chat. Very off-topic question. So I mentioned my little brother. My little brother's getting married next year, but he's getting married, and they're doing, his girlfriend's Mexican, so they're kind of doing like a Mexican style wedding, and they're gonna have a mariachi band. So my question for you is, I don't know much about a traditional Mexican wedding. Would a mariachi band be like, what would the mariachi band do? Like, do they do like the dancing part of the wedding? Do they do the like ceremony part of the wedding? I'm actually curious because I just don't know anything about, I don't know if any of you know about like traditional Mexican traditions in weddings. Your mom hires a mariachi band for it. Seems super fun. Mariachi music at a party seems like a blast because it's just like, it seems like such good dancing music. I need to learn. Oh, dude. I need to learn how to play the tuba. I saw a combo deck that used Vinelasher as a finisher. Pitiless card just spotted all the sacrifice lands that cast Lubra with the floating mana. We actually were playing that deck a little bit. That was one of the decks we tried today, was that build. And it's really sweet, but it's somewhat inconsistent was my impression of it. Well, Deep Cavern Bat. Opponent found the Collector's Vault. We will. Well, let's take the Get Lost. Keep our bat for now. Yeah, but the deck is cool. It's worth checking out if it's something you're interested in. How much do we play into the Sunfall? Get in. Hit ya. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait and pass. Wait and pass. About it. Do you have any decks planned for early access? I have not even started thinking about it yet. You have ideas? If you ever have early access decks, definitely let me know if you have something you want to try. But usually I wait until the spoiler's out and we kind of get a look of what the full set looks like and then go from there. That's my normal technique, at least. Maybe we have 2 of these. All right, let's Vinelash. We know we're gonna lose it because they can just Sunfall, but I imagine this is what we have to do. Vinelash, tap land, ping ya, go attacking. I mean, there's like ideas that I've thought of. Blinking the impending creatures does seem sweet. I'm brewing Zur with Overlords to turn them into creatures. Ooh, that's a pretty sweet idea. All right, there's the Sunfall. Wouldn't mind drawing another land here. Okay, that's not bad. 1, 2, 3. So I think what we do is Tranquil Frillback. Pay twice. Blow up your collector's vault. Exile your graveyard. Well, looting down for now. They could just hardcast the Atrox, actually, but... Yeah, it's cool to see Delirium coming back. Ugh. Caretaker's talent. Levels up. Copies a token. Draws a card. We need more frillbacks. We need more frillbacks. Yeah, the new Panharmonicon's so cool. The Room Panharmonicon. We'll go to combat. Attack. All about it. Fires up the incubate. And blocks. I think I'm going to start playing that. I think I'm going to start playing that Cease and Desist. I might actually say there might actually be enough artifacts and enchantments running around that it might actually just be worth it. I feel like I keep running into these Caretaker's Talent Herbrest Forge decks. It might actually just be worth playing Cease and Desist. You could even main deck Cease and Desist. 7 mana is a lot, although it does help that you can kind of split it up a little bit, right? Like, you can play it for its 3 mana cost, and then the following turn, or in the future, at some point, pay the rest to get the Panharmonicon effect. So I think that's a nice upside. Found it. Sunfall number 2. And draws a card with the Caretaker's Talent. And opponent passes. Well, okay. Well, I guess we're doing this again. 1, 2, 3. Tranquil Frillback. And pay, and pay, and pay. Blow up you, and exile, and gain some life. Well, I mean, we're trying. We've drawn 2 frillbacks, which is good. Fade from History. Does that give everyone a bear? It does something like that, right? There's something to do with bears. Each player who controls an artifact or enchantment creates a 2/2 green bear creature token, then destroy all artifacts and enchantments. The nice thing, the reason I think I would play Cease and Desist is just because of the front side. So the back side, 6 mana destroy all artifacts and enchantments. The problem is some games you're not going to want that effect. Being able to just cycle it for 2 mana to exile some cards from the graveyard, gain some life, draw some cards, I think that is the selling point for me, is that it's never really going to be a dead card. So that's what you could get away with if you wanted to, even putting it in the main deck theoretically, because when it's bad, it's still not that bad because you can always cycle it away. Fade from History, I could see playing is a sideboard card, but I think I might still just go Cease and Desist. Bound it, Archangel Elspeth. And makes a soldier. Well, we will Preacher of the Schism. And crack a map. And play the land and pass the turn. What a grindy match. Pass the turn, opponent taps. Even more laydown arms. Well, we will kill the okay, sure. Found it. Combat. Attacks. We will kill it. Oh, hang on. I have someone frantically beeping my doorbell. just a minute. Are you gonna say hello?
Yeah.
All right, hang on.
I'm just gonna say hi.
Are you gonna say hi? I will show you. It's my hello, hello. All right. It was my little nephew, Jax. Say hi, Jax.
Hi.
See, we're playing Magic. You like Magic, right?
Yeah.
You gotta learn it. Yeah. Have you been riding your dirt bike?
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like it. You're gonna be a streamer, right?
Yeah.
Can you say like and subscribe? I hear you say that. You know how to say
Like
that.
and subscribe. I don't even know your channel.
You don't even know my
I
channel.
didn't even watch.
What kind of? You don't even watch me. What kind of streamer nephew are you?
I don't even know your name. I don't know anything.
You know, okay. Next time I'll tell you. I don't even watch your stream. Yeah, that's baby Jax, my little nephew. I don't even watch your stream. After I'm gonna have to. So I'm gonna have to end the stream though. My car is in the garage. Oh my god, I didn't even tell you that story. I forgot that story. So my car that I got the new engine in less than a year ago now has a massive oil leak, and I had to bring it back to the garage this morning. So baby Jackson, my sister here to give me a ride. So we're gonna have to wrap this up. No. There's 9 of us all together. I'm the oldest of 9 siblings. So no, it's my youngest brother who's playing basketball at Louisville this year. He's the one that just got engaged and is getting married. Baby Jax is my sister's son. One of my 3 sisters' sons. But since since I don't have a car in my ride this year, I am gonna have to wrap it up. I told him around 5, and it's a little after. I didn't realize we were gonna go into such a grindy token matchup. The Black Lotus, yeah, the Black Lotus family, indeed. It kind of actually is. Anyway, I think unfortunately, this token match is going to take way too long. If it was a shorter match, then we would probably play it out. But with people waiting, I just can't let it go that long. Sorry, everyone. I gotta go take care of it. Baby Jax. I gotta teach him the name of the YouTube channel. So next time he shows up on stream, he will know what to say. So reminders on the way out the door. Replay YouTube, that's where you'd find all the old streams. Normal YouTube, spoiler coverage, gameplay, all that stuff. Check it out. One more shout out to our sponsor today, Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Y'all are amazing and awesome, and I love y'all. Sorry for the quick ending, but we'll be back again for the next one. Enjoy the Dustmorn spoilers, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Until then, everyone, be good. I love you, and I will talk to you soon.